All right. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a special edition of the B.TS I Show. Me host Christopher J. We are simulcast all five platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Clubhouse. Thank you guys for joining. Those who are in the Clubhouse room, letting you guys know this is a excuse me, this is a men's stage only. I only want to talk to the leaders of the community, which is are the men. And if it's not a happy community, it should. I only want to talk to the men. As far as the ladies go, remain in the audience, remain in the comment section for you be having a solely for you this coming Tuesday. But until then, I'm talking to the brothers. So, like I said, thank you guys for joining. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, why am I hosting a room called Code of Conduct for the Community? Why? Because I am of the belief we don't have a code. Never had a code, never will have a code. Well, let me not say never had a code. That'll be me gauging hyperbole. We surely don't have one now. Now, me leading up to this room, there have been people saying we have a code. We've been have a code. Okay, if we do have a code, how come it's not being utilized on the entire board across the spectrum? How come? Nobody can answer that. And when people say stick to code, stick on code, it's like, okay, what is the code? I'll tell you in private. It's private. Where's the code? Quiet, silence. Everything's supposed to be done in-house. Everything's supposed to be done behind the scenes. Well, I don't know if I'm the first, but allow me to be the first. We're going to have this conversation in public for the whole world to see. Some people say you're not supposed to have it in public. Well, when people like me ask, what is the code, and you decide not to give it us, we're going to take matters in our own hand. And that's what we have today. I have my brothers on the stage. I have Moa. I have Trini. I have Black Man. I have Cowboy. If nobody's going to have this conversation, we are. Because we're tired of waiting. Let me speak for myself. Excuse me. I am tired of waiting for people to do what they're supposed to do. And then I have to look in the mirror and ask myself, how come I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do? So that's why this room is happening. The Black community needs a code. And it starts with the men. That's why this is a men's stage that we're having. So without any further ado, and also I will be something in regards to being a leader. There was something that happened last night. My team knows about it. We're going to address that today. I'm going to address it properly in the respects that it deserves. Now, some people are going to say this person doesn't deserve respect. I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be a little nice with it. So we're going to give that individual the attention that she needs because she's going to get it later. Allow me to give it to her first. So let's go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for joining. When it comes to code, I do believe to better the Black community, it starts from home. Before what I can worry about what my neighbor's doing, before what I can worry about what guys on the other side of town are doing, I need to make sure my home is intact. So while I ping some more people into this room, and as I place the link on YouTube for anybody to join on live cam, let's hear from the stage, from the brothers real quick. Oh, and also real quick, those who are watching on YouTube, hear me and hear me clearly. If I don't know you, you're not coming on camera. I'm letting you know that right now. Because I've seen too many of my people get their page taken down, or what would the case may be, because people wanted to be funny. Yeah, we're not doing that. So if I don't know you, do not buy a link on YouTube and cam me up, because I'm not going to accept you. So floor is open, gentlemen. Let's start from the house. Before we can fix the community, home needs to be in order. So what are some codes for the house? What should be done at home? Let's think about it. It's just us right now. Single, brother on your own. House needs to be taken care of. All the foundation of a home needs to be taken care of. What needs to be done before we start checking the community? Popcorn style. Let's go ahead and get started.
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, Jonathan?
Yeah, you mean if you're single and you're just fresh starting out, right?
Correct. We got to start single first before we get to the family aspect. So, as a single man, what needs to be done first before we start worrying about the community?
Well, if the community is going to be the next initiative, I try to find a community that I'm going to get established in for quite some time. All that bouncing around, you got to find some stability about yourself.
Stability sounds accurate. Can't, because when it comes to forming something, foundation counts. And with me seeing these houses being built, not a shaky foundation inside, that whole house is going to crumble. So I feel you on that one. Anybody else want to contribute? Jonathan, I got stability out of Jonathan in regards to his take. What's you guys take?
Did he say stability?
Stability, yep.
No, most definitely. That's a must. I feel like if you're not making significant income, you shouldn't even be getting married, to be honest. This whole thing, God will suffice, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I'm not a believer in God, you know what I mean? I do believe in my God, but God is only going to know who helps himself or herself, you know what I mean? So this whole, you know what I mean, we'll figure it out after we get married, you know, let's get our love out of the way kind of thing. It's not to kind of get help anybody. It's not going to get, you know, the bills paid. It's not going to get the kids fed. You know, it's not going to get the grandparents taken care of. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, I agree 100% with Jonathan. Stability. But for me, it's on the gender roles. That's like a key thing. That's what's missing in the household. I believe the gender roles are not being fulfilled from either party, from both the men and what's missing in the household. I've seen a lot of my good sisters and who are my friends, you know what I mean, taking out the trash. I'm like, how are you taking out the trash if you say you got a man? Like, it don't make any sense. Also, in the gas station, I'm pretty sure you all saw in the gas stations, sisters are, you know, pumping their own gas while there's a man in the passenger seat. Whether that be the brother, the friend, whoever, a woman's not supposed to be pumping her own gas. I don't understand. So gender roles, both inside the household and outside the household, are not being fulfilled. The woman turned into man, the man turned into woman. That's literally what's going on, Chris. And what I've seen.
Yeah, I like that, because I know that a lot of people had an issue with gender roles where they want to say, well, it's 2022, these roles shouldn't exist, or whatever the case may be. One thing I always tell people, before you start talking about what a man is supposed to do, what a woman should do, now know the basics first. Let's say we know the gender roles as far as a man should go out and work and a woman should stay home and clean. One thing I always tell people is learn how you do your job first. Once you know how to do that, then decide to mess around and explore elsewhere. Other than that, focus on the basics. A lot of people want to jump to the finish line, if there is a finish line, so per se. So I agree. We got stability. Know your roles in the house first. Know your position. because you knowing your role is going to help. People half-assing it is going to end up putting cracks in the foundation, and the community is going to remain what it is today. So I agree on that one.
Yeah, one last thing I wanted to add before I let everybody else go ahead. Also, the arguments, the meaningless arguments need to stop. You know what I mean? Inside the household and outside the household. If the argument or whatever y'all fighting about is not hugely affecting your relationship or your marriage, there's no reason for y'all to have an argument about, for y'all to fight about it. This whole meaningless, arguments need to stop. That's the other thing. That's why when I said man, the women are turning to men and the men are turning to women, that's what I'm talking about. Part of it is the arguments being had for no reason whatsoever. You see grown adults, 20, 30, 40 years old, arguing in the streets, fighting in the streets, like outside. Like how are you letting other people see how you are treating your lady and vice versa? How are you letting other women see how you're treating your man? You know what I mean? That's part of gender roles as well. Composure. If you don't have composure, like, should you really even be in a relationship or marriage? In my opinion, I don't think so.
That's fair. That is 100% fair. And you're typing in the background. I'm actually typing down what you guys are saying. We got stability, we got gender roles, and you said maintain your composure, which is a thing because I know we need to have. Let me rephrase that. What I'm about to say. We need to have emotional control, emotional stability. A leader that lacks the intelligence to keep his emotions in check is a problem, and it's not a good leader. So we need to get that situated. So that's right on that, Mo. Appreciate it. Trini, what's up, man?
What's up in here, man? Yeah, I'm seeing. Yeah, it's good.
What's up, my guy? Let you know we got, as far as it starts from home first, we got stability. We got knowing your roles as far as gender goes. Emotional control is what I'll label what Moa just said. What are some codes for the house before we get to the community?
I know we started out with stability, the foundation. And you got to find yourself, get yourself rooted. Like habitat, origin definition for habitat is your dwelling place, which is going to lead to the community of which we speak of. So, yeah, I can understand you having stability in your habitat, in your dwelling, your house. You get established somewhere. But if I had to go into the proper order and wouldn't jump so quickly to the leadership and family, I'd start with the structure. Because if you're going to dwell somewhere and you plan on being there for a while, now you must establish a structure, which is like our homes. Our homes are basically an extension of ourselves. And most people that don't maintain their household or they're maintaining homes well, they probably don't maintain themselves as well. So it could be a reflection of their own self-discipline, and disciplines being associated with the structure as well. So structure would definitely be the next move if I was to go into it in the proper order. Like you said, if I was a single man, no children, and I'm establishing myself, I want to find me somewhere where I can establish myself, and then I'm going to build on top of that. So the next build would be the structure, and the structure has an array of different associations that you need in life that branch off of it. Everything from the defenses, everything from the discipline, it's all associated with the structure, not only the structure that you live in, but the structure that you live by.
Right.
So structure would definitely be on my next move from finding good stability, a good foundation.
Okay. I made that update. 1, stability. 2, structure. 3, know your role. 4, emotional control. And also, thank you guys for popping in the room. Just a reminder, this is a men's stage only. We will hold a stage for the women this coming Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon. So, ladies, if you come in the room and you're not on the stage, or we don't allow you on the stage, it's only because this is a men's stage only. Just letting you guys know that right now. But I appreciate the contribution. Let's keep it going. Trini, what you got?
Basically, man, listen, starting within your own house, man, had a structure and order, bro, and I'm saying that's fundamental to anything. That's fundamental before you even start going out to the community and starting to pass out, I'm saying, a foundation and structure and order to the community. So, you gotta start within your house first with a little bit of structure and order, you feel me? That's how you get the shit started. I'm saying men supposed to be able to have structure and order in their lives. So,
No, I agree. 100% appreciate it. Yep, stability, structure, roles, emotional control. So far, so good. We're getting off to the right start. Believe it or not, it's a slow build. I promise it's a slow build. Let's Black, how you doing, sir? Black might be busy at the time. Cowboy. Home. What you got? Structure. What codes for the house, especially if you're starting off single before we get to marriage and a family.
For the I'm trying to think. I mean, I heard you guys say some things. And one thing I want to say as far as stability, there's a lot of things that make a person stable, but we better not make the focus money. You understand what I'm saying? That could be a problem, because a lot of people are starting without money. So you're talking about a single man in a house or apartment. It's almost wishful thinking, especially today. But like I don't know if I don't know if any state still has rent control. You know what I'm saying? So, a lot of times these cats are still in the home. And you mentioned, composure, how you conduct yourself in public is important. But all that stuff has to be taught from the home. So you guys already covered that. How you conduct yourself, how you present yourself is important also. A lot of guys out here, not, what we're talking about, we're talking about just, we're talking about the men. So we'll say a lot of men don't know, that how you present yourself is how you present, you're representing your family, and that used to be the code. You didn't leave out the house without your slacks pressed and, and your shirt pressed and stuff like that, you're shaved and all this stuff. And now people come out the house just any old kind of way, and that's not acceptable, And so our community looks lesser for it, So I'll land there for now.
Appreciate it. What I got from that is prioritization and image. Image, because I remember I hold the room. Matter of fact, Cowboy, that you was in that room where we was talking about the difference between image and appearance. Appearance is like you guys see me on camera. Those who see me on camera, you see my appearance, but I'm more focused on my image about not only what I wear, how I conduct myself, and who I'm representing when I leave the house. So you provided some key points to that. So I appreciate that one, man. Thank you. Let me move on to the next one. John. Brother John, you there? Might be stepped away. DJ.
I am extremely lost as far as like I came in while you was explaining, sort of like halfway in it, so I missed like the first half. So I apologize.
Nah, it's all good. I got you, man. Code of conduct for the community. I'm a firm believer that the Black community does not have a code. And if they do have a code, somebody's not doing their job, making sure it's being held out to the fullest, because look at the community of where it's at right now. So that's something that we need to fix. Now, before we get to the community, I'm a firm believer it starts at home first. So we're trying to slowly build up through the stages of when we can get to the community. Right now, I'm talking to the men only today. I'll talk to the women on Tuesday with female moderators.
Gotcha.
So let's start with the brothers today. If you're single, but you still have the dreams to help the community, what do we do as a single brother first before we get to the family part?
I mean, Jesus Christ, this is such a difficult question.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
I mean, like, cause I heard my man earlier say something about money shouldn't be a focus, but like that's damn sure it should be a focus. It may not be. It shouldn't be like you should. I think we should learn how to respect the dollar and not like you know what I'm saying? Like, cause a lot of people don't respect like money in general. Like it's it's a whole bunch of you can spend your money, but I'm not spending my kind of shit. And people don't understand why that's a thing, and or respect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't. I think people need to learn that money isn't nothing more than a tool. It really is. It's a measurement, and like any other tool, it's supposed to be used, not. People don't collect nails. You know what I'm saying? People don't collect hammers. People use them. You know what I'm saying? Like the same way with money. You should know the difference between like different ways of making income and getting ways of using said nails for money, not rely on one. You should be flexible in that regard. Like, yeah, I think you should learn about or focus on money. At least again, in as far as respecting it and knowing how to get it. That's just fundamental to me, because without the money, how are you gonna fund anything? You can't fund. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not much you can't do without money. You need money to buy the materials for your dream. You need money you need money to stay where you're at. You can't even stay still for free.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I hear what you're saying. In regards to the thing about money is the topic is a code of conduct, and I completely understand where enough is coming from due to the fact that money is it's something that we created, like you said, as a tool. Right. However, when you're thinking about conduct versus money, your conduct, if you focus on the conduct first, the byproduct of a person conducting themselves in a proper manner, it will spill over into the way that they handle those tools that you speak of. So if you don't take care of the source first, the superficial things will be abused or will be valued more than the actual substance. And the substance of today would be the conduct, the code of conduct. So what we see going on in our communities today in regards to finances is just a reflection of the dysfunctional conduct that we already share. So I believe that's where Enough was alluding to.
Okay, then I'll correct myself. And then I'll say that for as a conduct, or redefine it, I believe that part of it, you shouldn't rely on money. You should respect it, and there's a stark difference between the two, and learning it is part of the process.
Well, here's the thing, and this is what I've seen over the years, is that at some point in time, money became the end all, the be all in our community. You guys, talk about getting the bag, and back in the day, it wasn't getting the bag is, you guys, talk about getting the, well, if you watch Eddie Murphy's stand-up Raw, you know, and he talks about the fight that he had in the disco, and how everybody sued him. You know what I'm saying? And then he saw Brooks walking in there. He's like, yo, my brother. And they were like, sorry, Eddie, I got to get paid. You see what I'm saying? And that whole I got to get paid thing has, you know, that's really what's dissolved any code that we've ever had. You know what I'm saying? Now, understanding money and how money works, that is important. You know, I try to have a discussion with, you know, some people about that, and one brother just wouldn't get it. He didn't understand, you know, how the dollar actually worked around the world. You know, yeah, you should know this, not just in your community, but around the world. How does currency work? Not just the almighty U.S. dollar, but all dollars, francs, you know, yen, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you should be knowledgeable of that. You know, that should be something happening in the home also. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, as far as how you conduct yourself, you know, it's like that has more weight than money. You see what I'm saying? And the more you know, the less money you actually need.
Right. That's why I say you shouldn't rely on it. You should respect it. Yes, that is exactly it. Yeah. A lot of people rely on it, and it's like, if I don't have all this money, then I can't do whatever. And that's not true. There's more than one way to skin a cat. So like, you don't just need whatever. You know, and that's, yes, you're right. You should not, again, reiterate, rely on money to fix all your problems. Like, if I have enough money, no, that's not it.
But yeah, we can put that down as money is a tool of the house, because when we just have money, we just quick to buy anything and everything, and not realize I got a bill coming up, or it's one of them sneaky bills that pop up that can mess up your whole entire week. So I get what you're saying, 100%. We can put that down. So we got stability, structure, know your role, emotional control, prioritization, image, money being a tool. Let's see who we got next. Wait a minute. Mark the God.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, how you doing?
So this was something that
Come close to the mic, Mark. No one can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Come close to the mic. You're far away from the mic.
This is about as close as I can get.
It's all good. Everybody.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good. Earlier, I couldn't hear you.
All right, everybody, turn the volume up and mute your mic if you have to. Merk, go ahead. What's the code that you got for brothers who is at home before they get married? If they want to help the community, what's the code that they need to live by so they can make that progression?
Well, first, man, I just wanted to say that a question kind of like, what is the purpose of the code? You know what I mean? What is the purpose of it all? Because I know that there's a difference between how I looked at life when I was single and how I looked at life once I had a family.
Mm-hmm.
And how I looked at life when I had a family was much more important than how I looked at life when I was single.
Right.
So there are certain things that have to be in place from the beginning that people who are single should be aware of, right? Because I was in a couple rooms and I've had conversations with single brothers, and you know, of course, their goal was to have sex with as many women as they could, for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of built a philosophy, and their whole value system is built around that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, that's going to change. You don't want to have any rules in place that that are going to change when you get older. Right? You don't want to have these hard and fast rules that are based on you being immature. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, what is the purpose of the code? Is the purpose of the code to make sure that the community is safe? Is the purpose of the code to make sure that we have the right this up to, like, what is the purpose of the code? That's my question first, and then I can kind of add on. But I need to know, like, what are we trying to do here with this code? Because I think some of the conversations that we've had, since I've been here, and I haven't been here long, Like even when it comes down to money, what is the purpose of the code? That'll tell us all of what should be a part of it. So that's my question to you. If that's okay. What is the purpose of the code?
Gotcha. No problem. I can answer that. I'm a firm believer that the Black community does not have a code. Now, there are people who are older than me who will say otherwise, but that's when I hold them accountable. Is when they say, if we have a code, how come it's not being applied? And just throughout the years, I've started to realize I don't believe we have a code. Or if we do, we're not living by it. So before we can worry about the community, we have to worry about the house first. Because I do believe that family marriage is a way of helping the Black community because it provides structure, it provides organization, it provides presentation. But before we get married, because we wasn't born married, we were single. We had to grow up. Now we're on our own. So the question is, if you're really about facing the Black community and you're a single Black man, we need to start there first because we're talking to the men today. I'll talk to the women on Tuesday, but today I'm talking to the single brothers. I'm talking to the married brothers. Then we're going to get to the leaders. And they're all leaders in their own rights. We're just putting it all together so we can have something presentable that every Black person in this country can live by.
Okay. So.
And I think there's something going on with your mic. It's a little bit static. Is the jack all the way in?
Yes, man. I back on Clubhouse.
It's all good. Mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, go ahead, brother. We can hear you now.
So I would say safety, right? Something safety, and I hope that I got the question right.
No, keep going. You good? I like safety. Keep going.
So safety, man, is the most important. Security is the backbone of the family and the community. And everything else evolves around that. I think that young men need to understand that and understand why older men make certain decisions when it comes to their daughters, when it comes to their wives, when it comes to their children in general. That safety is job one and everything else comes after that. I think that and where money plays a role, it plays a role in the securing of the family and of the community. And I think that as men, as Black men a long time ago, we lost that understanding that is one of the village, the community is the shell, supposed to be the shell that protects the family and the children, right? And I think that we lost that a long time ago. And I think that being on Clubhouse and listening to men speak, that especially men who are single, that they forget that that's the point of it. That's our job. And don't get upset with a man because of the security protocol that he has for his family, right? Because we love our family and it's our job to protect it. That's our treasure. A man's protection should be where his treasure is. So I've had a lot of conflicts with brothers on this app because I say, listen, my wife don't have to smile at you, man. My daughter don't have to smile at you. She don't got to talk to you, right? Because she don't know you. You know what I mean? And a lot of different conversations, and it seemed like men didn't quite get that. Black men didn't quite get that. That security is job one. That is what we do. And when we don't hold fast to that, everything else is possible. All negativity. So, man.
Yeah, safety is a key component because as men, that's like what is our job titles? To protect and provide. And I know when we talk about the conversation about protecting Black women, which is something I'm gonna dive into a little bit later on the show because I gotta address a particular individual on Instagram. I'm only responsible of protecting one Black woman, that's my wife. Anything else is a common courtesy. And even that, I do that to the T. You're talking to somebody who has some type of combat training. You're talking to somebody that has a handgun, that has a firearm in his possession. You're talking to somebody that has 1, 2, 3 cameras in this household because I take my protection very seriously. I could talk to whoever through the camera, security system. That's our jobs. Now you don't have to go all out like I do, and also protection and safety comes in different forms of fashion outside of physical. And that's something I think we delved into a couple of months ago. But safety, 100% safety is something that needs to be upheld. It deserves to be on the list. So, Merck, I appreciate that. Thank you. To Lady T and Blissful, thank you guys for coming in the room, ladies. This is a men-only stage. You're more than welcome to get in the comment sections. You're more welcome to contribute there. I will definitely hold a room for you guys next week, Tuesday. The link is pinned to the top. You can RSVP because I would love to hear your opinions. The moderators will be a female cast. I will be on stage for obvious reasons, but I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to let you ladies run the room. But I like what the list we got. Thank you. Black man, you ready?
I am. So I've got 7 things. Some of them kind of already cross over because I'm going after people, but I wrote these down. The first is define your roles. You need to know who leads and who follows. You can't have a leader without someone willing to follow, and it can't be 2 leaders. There's no co-leading thing going on here. If you have 2 people trying to drive a car at the same time, you're going to crash. It doesn't work. You also need to know your strengths and weaknesses and then leverage those in the relationship. Clearly, some people are more capable than others. That's the way it needs to work. The second is how to deal with conflict. All small conflicts should be resolved between the 2 of you, minus any third parties. No family, no friends, no counselors, no hangers-on, none of that. You need to be able to talk that out as adults. The third would be financial cohesion. You need to learn how to live well below your means while building net worth, which is what you're going to enjoy, and generational wealth, which is what you're going to leave behind for those that are your progeny.
Yeah, what's up, man?
You do not have generational wealth for yourself, so that there's no misunderstanding there. That's what net worth is for. Fourth, you need continuous counseling. And this is to build tools for habitual and effective communication. Most people don't know how to talk to one another. I venture to say there's a lot of our sisters, unfortunately, don't know how to talk to men because they really haven't been around men. So you need those tools in your toolbox to be able to have a lasting relationship, especially if you're living in the same household. Fifth, communicate for purposeful expression, not for agreement. More often than not, we get to talking at one another or through one another, or only to be heard while the other person can be quiet. That's not effective communication. It doesn't matter whether you agree with me or not. You need to be able to say what you need to say, respectfully, of course. The sixth, no representation of sex, unpleasant experiences, or previous trauma. This is one of the reasons why men are reticent to speak to women concerning what's really going on with them, because they consistently have this issue. But if you can get a woman to agree not to weaponize those 3 things, you're winning in life. The last is planning out the end game. Marriage, children, particularly how many you're going to have, specifically how they will be raised, how the discipline is going to be taken into account. And you also need to be planning your retirement. At some point, you're not going to be able to physically have to work. This notion that you're just going to live and to eat this sphere based off of, butterflies and fairies doesn't exist. You need to have a plan in place. And for a married couple, that looks about $5.8 million liquid cash, and based off of today's inflation numbers. And the reason for that is that women live so much longer than men. Typically, when you have a couple, the woman's going to outlive the man. She needs assets to be able to subsist. And since they don't make as much as men by and large, that's a thing you need to actually really be thinking about. Plan it out as early as possible so that you have a time horizon for your money to make money. And that's what I have. There's a black man on my plan.
All right, Black. I appreciate that because I had to step out. I know you wanted, and I'm gonna create a separate tab on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram so everybody can catch what we're saying. Now, I wanted to just go over that with you again. I know the first one you says define the leader, define your roles is one of the things you said, and that is the utmost very important because I say 2 leaders, 2 people driving the car is not going to work. I always use a 2 quarterback system in the NFL that doesn't work. The last time that happened was Tim Tebow and Mark Sanchez with the New York Jets, and we all saw how that ended. So I get it. Define your roles. What was the next one that you wrote down? Because this is going to be for everybody to see.
Deal with all small conflicts in house. Yeah.
All right. In the what was the next one?
Live below your means while building net worth and generational wealth.
All right, next one.
Build tools for habitual and effective communication.
Build tools?
Yes, build tools for habitual and effective communication.
All right, next up.
Communicate for purposeful expression, not agreement. Communicate for purposeful expression, not agreement.
All right.
On that one, like when you're talking about basically finding solutions, I'm assuming that benefits both parties?
No. Most people think that you communicate because each person should agree with the other. That's not the purpose of communication. The purpose of communication is expression. Agreement isn't necessary. And it should be the goal.
All right, I got it. What's next?
No weaponization of sex, unpleasant experiences, or previous trauma. No weaponization of sex, unpleasant experiences, or previous trauma. Particularly with the last two, you have some people that confide in you because they go to a level of trust or love for you. You don't then turn around and just weaponize that in an argument or some other future conversation. And then the sex part is really more so for the benefit of men. Women tend to weaponize sex in relationships, particularly when they're the ones pushing for monogamy. That's a non-starter. If you're going to do that, you need to be single.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Any next one?
The last one is plan out the end game. So that's going to be your marriage, your children, how the children will be raised, and then your retirement. And you need to have that discussion well before you agree to marry.
All right. I like it. Appreciate it. You took up two of my tickers. That's cool. All right, I like that. Let's go over it, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I am tapping this down for everybody to see on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. For a home, as far as single folks, we got stability, we got structure, and also I'll put this in the chat when I get the chance. Stability, we got structure, know your role in regards to gender, emotional control, prioritization, image, only use money as a tool, safety, define your role, deal with all small conflicts in-house, live below your means to build net worth, build tools for habitual and effective communication, communicate for purposeful communication, not agreement, no weaponization of sex, unpleasant experience, or previous trauma, and last, plan out the end game. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 15 codes for single brothers to use. That's a lot more than I heard in all the years of living. I'll be 35 on November 30th.
Something just popped into my head. that of course escapes most of us is health. If your health ain't right, none of that other stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who's ever had the flu knows how that feels. You're not thinking about money or anything else. You're thinking about how sick you are, and you can't wait for it to be over. So, you know, I think your health needs to be number one. Without your health, you can't function.
That's fair. No, that's 100% fair. We're definitely going to go back and prioritize this list, but right now I want to get this list out here, so that way when we hold a group meeting, which will be October 16th, that way we have men and women on stage. We're going to prioritize this list. This is the men's list, and based off of the list we come up today, we'll ultimately determine what code the women will come up with on Tuesday. We're not doing no separate codes. We're providing the boundaries around the community so the women could work within the community. That way everybody wins.
Right.
You gotta
key points, support and motivation. I don't see a lot of African Americans, Black men supporting and motivating each other. They're not listening to each other. Like, they all have different ways of making money, but they're all not coming together and making it together. Does that make sense? So I think somewhere in those 15 codes, we need to add motivation and support, because everybody keeps saying, I got this, I got money, I got all this, but no one's actually helping each other out. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong if a youngling shows you how to make money. Person shows you how to make money. Like, age is not a factor. Does that make sense? I feel like in the community, a lot of people make age a factor, and that's what's really ruining the community. Like, they're saying, well, I'm older than you, you know what I mean? You're not supposed to do this, you know what I mean? I have more experience to you, but the person hasn't lived your life and you haven't lived theirs. So the assumption of just because you're older than me, you know what I mean? You know a better way to make money, you know what I mean? Or a better way to live a comfortable, stable life. I think that's where we're going wrong. The motivation and support for each other are not there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're all coming at each other's necks, and instead of motivating and supporting each other, we're actually going in a different direction where, you know what I mean? Like, my way goes, or is the highway kind of thing. You know what I mean? You don't see a lot of, and even within, you know, your own homie circle. Like, I've seen my own homies when I moved out of Ohio, like, they were doing the same basic shit, and when I showed them a different way to do it, 10 or 15 different ways to make money, none of that shit matters to them. What mattered is how they made money. And I'm trying to figure out, like, are you trying to create generational wealth, or are you just trying to live in the moment? Like, which way are we doing over here? You know what I mean? Like, you've been living, 30, 35, 40 years of your life, and you only have 100,000 to account for. You know what I mean? Or 200,000, but you're saying that you want generational wealth. I don't, like, that's the key thing too. A generational wealth is not being understood what it means in the community. You know what I mean? Just like how, I don't know if it was Black Man or Jonathan, one of them touched on the generational wealth, where I don't think we're understanding what it actually means outside of the first generation or second or third generation. You know what I mean? Generational wealth is supposed to be for the next 100 generations, 50 generations, 20 generations, not the next 3 to 5 generations, if I'm making sense.
Fair enough. That's fair. Let me see who this brother is. I'm in the audience. I cannot tell, but that's okay. He's gone. To what you're saying about motivation and support, that is key.
Yeah, they're not supporting. Like, I don't see, when you see like 10 guys in the same circle, you know what I mean? Each one of them have 10 different ways or 5 different ways to make money, but none of those 10 guys are together making this money.
Crab in a bucket or crab in a barrel mentality. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's something that doesn't help at all, where you're just keeping it all to yourself while you see people around you struggling.
Not all. It's not like that's 50% of the problem. The other 50% is not. It's not the selfishness. Or the greed. It's more of the, you know, my way is the best way. The arrogance. You know what I mean? like it's the arrogance that's really just destroying it. You know what I mean? Like you can have greed and sacrifice, but reality, where is that when you have arrogance? When you have 50% arrogance and 50% greed, you're not gonna get anywhere. Does that make sense?
Right.
One of the points I've been trying to add.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, that's one of the fundamental points I wanted to add earlier. It's called it's basically a universal law. It's got to be something on the most fundamental aspect of the idea in regards to respecting each other's individual, spiritual, religious, or atheistic beliefs in that community. There should not be any kind of coercion of trying to enforce or influence or gaslight each other to try to go by, let's go by my way. There has to be a simple, universal, across the board law of love and respect amongst your fellow brothers and sisters in that community. That's to say, you believe what you want, you do what you want, but the book stops here in regards to certain actions or implementations that you may want to do in that community. Because we gotta stop the competing and the pride, all this crap that keeps people warring against it. You cannot have a community without unity. There's not going to be together. If I can respect, like me personally, I can respect, talk to, conversate with anybody. I have no problem. Go out, hang out, do whatever. For some reason, a lot of our people don't have that mindset. They think that the other person's culture is contagious, or their beliefs are contagious, and it's going to somehow get on your arm and rub off and you're going to have COVID. Stupid. We got to stop that. We got to have a universal code, universal law of respect and love across the board. And to say, I will not cross this boundary with this person. I allow them to live and let live type of mentality. And I definitely agree with Homer about the support factor. We definitely need a support factor. That ties into what the gentleman said earlier about trying to, find a way to respect money. Well, it's not necessarily about, you can put that in the academical area if you're actually building a community, but I believe we're just going off of moral code. But the support factor, I believe that the universal law should encourage integrity in what a person provides. And the support factor, like Moha said, not only can we support each other in seeing ways to become more financially stable or wealthy, but we can also support another person's endeavors to become wealthy. So we keep our dollars circulating inside the community. With the support factor, we support each other by helping each other save money. So you teach each other how to help work on each other's homes or work on each other's cars. For the smaller, the less complex work. We can fix a roof, but if a tornado comes through and screws up the foundation, then you need a professional. But we can help each other on the weekends, saving dollars that way, teach each other how to make dollars that way. And if one of us has a product or services, we can spend those dollars with each other, and they can fall under the support factor. But we definitely need love and respect in one aspect and support in another.
100%. Appreciate it. We got 18 coach, y'all. 18. To the ladies that are in the audience, thank you guys for attending. This is a men-only stage for today. If you click up the link up top in RSVP, that's going to be your stage on Tuesday. It's going to be an all-women stage. Even the moderators will be all females. I will be the exception, but for the most part, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. So the chat is open. You need to back channel anybody open as well. But what we're doing today is we're allowing the men to speak, the leaders of the community to speak, to create some type of barriers or boundaries around the community. That way, not only would a woman be able to work within the community, they could do so in comfort, knowing that they're on a strong foundation. That's what our goal is for today. Before we get to the next step, Brother Devin, I know you came on stage. Would you like to make any contributions in regards to a code for brothers to live by, particularly starting at home first? We want to start with the single brothers. Then we're going to move up to marriage. Do you have anything to offer, my brother?
I think that the codes that you guys have mentioned were good codes. For men, I would say hold ourselves accountable for our actions and be intentional with everything you do. I think that's an important codes to follow by.
Like accountability and be intentional. That could be the 20th one. All right, we up to 20. Good job, my brothers. I appreciate this. Thank you.
So Chris.
Yes.
You know, one thing I'm going to say is because every now and again it pops up. You know, especially with the millennials. You know, we talk about accountability, and instead of being accountable, other generations get blamed for whatever. You know, it's ridiculous, and it's to the point where, you know, when Moha was talking about, you know, older cats not listening, or, you know, as far as money's concerned or whatever, you know, it's like you gotta learn how to understand where experience, you know, does matter.
Right.
That being on the planet longer actually makes a difference.
Correct.
And so, you know, back in my day was respect your elders. And so with that respect allowed us to listen and hear. You know, nowadays there's no respect for elders. You know, not in this country. In other communities, like you go to Asia, and there's still that respect, even for like an older brother, little brother thing. You know, that older brother could be 1 year apart. You know what I'm saying? And he would still get that respect as being senior. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's not like do what I say because I'm older than you, but take the time out, respect me enough to take the time out and listen to what I'm telling you. And that doesn't happen. And then so when you guys fall flat on your face, you know, then a whole generation gets blamed because you didn't learn the lessons that we learned the hard way. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that has always been part of our code in our community, to respect our elders. And that code goes way back to the old country. And that shouldn't be excluded.
No, and I agree with that. And of course, I remember, let me speak to that before we move on to the next topic. The as far as respecting the elders, I do respect the elders. Granted, I made a room in regards to the baby boomers, those who was born between 1946 and 1964. And of course, I was inspired by an idiot on YouTube, and I qualified to call this person an idiot based off of how he conducted himself and based off of the nonsense he was spewing by leading the community down the wrong path. But in regards to what you're saying, yes, us millennials do need to respect Generation X. We do need to respect the baby boomers. And one thing I would tell them, the millennials and my generation and those behind me, lead with love and respect. And if the person doesn't return it, you can move accordingly, or you can just move away from the situation altogether. I have avoided that individual on YouTube as much as possible. Like, if he was to ever come on the panel moving forward, I'll just leave because I have no respect for him. But I will be respectful. And not disrespect him directly like I've done before. Ever since that day, I've been on a panel with that person one time, and instead of what we say on Clubhouse, instead of attacking the person, attack the argument or whatever the case may be. That's exactly what I did. Instead of coming at him, I came at everything about him without addressing him, to let people know there's a certain type of people we need to listen to, and there's some people we just need to ignore. Those in my dad's generation, granted, my dad doesn't qualify as a baby boomer because he's not from this country. I would listen to him because he would tell me to beware of men like that and to move accordingly. Don't disrespect him, which I failed in doing that, but just move away from him and let him be by himself. I think that's the most respectful way that we can do with the older generation, is to lead with respect and love. And for those who don't reciprocate that, isolation is probably the best thing possible. So I would like for people to learn from my mistake.
Right. I actually want to give MF Cowboy his respect on not the pandering side, because as you all seen on this app, there's a lot of elder black men on this app that be, and in real life too, you may see it as well, that be, how do I put this plainly? That be pandering. You know what I mean? They're telling, you know what I mean? Well, whatever age the woman is, hey, your mistakes are not your mistakes. They belong to the men in the community. They don't belong to you. They belong to the men in the community. So, MF Cowboy, you got my respect on that, on not pandering to any such lunatic of a woman that doesn't understand her mistakes, or her mistakes does not belong to every black man in the community. So that's all I wanted to say on that. When it comes to the elder folks, you will get our respect from the younger generation when you actually respect yourself. You pandering, you're not respecting yourself. And in my opinion, I see that you're disrespecting yourself. So I agree on the respecting the elders part only if they are showing respect back, and only if what they're saying is what they're living by. I'm not going to respect someone who's older than me, who's telling me to do something, and they're not doing it, or they haven't already done it. That I cannot do. Whether it be relating to finance, whether it be relating to life, whether it be relating to community, whatever. If you're not doing what you're saying already, or have already done it with proof, then there's no reason for me to respect you whatsoever. That's all
we gotta be careful with how we handle our elders, because from our limited position of experience and what we've encountered or observed, a lot of times we can be too conclusive about things without investigating properly and understanding properly. Because a lot of times when we get as far as the attorney, you hear me speak something, I said, I'm giving my perspective on this. I'm not giving absolute truth, because there could be some information that's vital that another person can have that contributes to me getting closer to what would be more so absolute. So therefore, I cannot be too quick to conclude. And the last thing we would want to do is create a divide, because that's like the universal law that I was talking about earlier. You don't want to create a divide in the community. You know, even if you're not the person that's contributing to the dysfunction or the division, we'd have to be careful with that as well. Because if you fight fire with fire in the community, we're trying to deal with a code of conduct, you end up burning everything down. So we definitely got to be careful with how we deal with and address these situations. Because if we conclude too quickly, we can end up killing or cutting too far back on the very thing we're trying to get the growth. We'll go from pruning branches to completely uprooting the whole tree in the process. So it's definitely got to take a step slowly to deal with such things.
We bought twice the amount of Mercedes-Benz. You know, just from my perspective on this app, I mean, there are young people who just don't want to respect their elders for whatever reasons. They're going to come up with all kinds of explanations. But we know just from living, the longer you live, the longer you understand that elders deserve respect. Right? They don't have to jump through no hoops in order for they shouldn't have to jump through no hoops in order for us to respect them. Right? Just like your mother and your father. Right? The fact that they gave you life, that's a blessing if you love yourself. So I don't we all have different experiences, right? So when I was coming up, older people talked to you crazy, man, and they did that, and it was kind of funny, and it was kind of, it was just to see if you had thick enough skin to get this lesson that I'm about to give you, right? It was a part of the initiation process. I had older black men talk cash shit to me, man, and it was really, they just wanted to see whether or not, man, I had what it took to get, if I was worth their time, right? They'd say, man, look, well, your mother ain't even respect you enough to give you a titty. She gave you that Similac. That's how older. It is hard. It is really hard for some people, right? A lot of times it's women to understand how old. If you didn't come up around older men because you didn't have a father, you didn't have grandfathers, you didn't have that kind of relationship with older men. It's kind of hard to understand them. But you're gonna be that person one day, right? And just like when you were 15, right? You thought you knew everything. When you were 15, man, you thought your parents ain't know nothing. I'm telling you, right? That's just how it goes. And once we got to our parents' age, we understood a few things, right? We understood that we were young and we thought we knew some things. And it don't change. When you're 40, when you get to 60, it's the same way. When from 60, it's the same way. And we got to just have faith that we just got to understand that, right? But I don't think that it's productive to have a list of reasons why we shouldn't respect our elders. I don't understand how that becomes a part of the conversation.
Well, here's the thing, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna do a strong pivot after this. I'll do a reset. The gentleman that I'm referring to on YouTube, he believes he's entitled to respect. So much so, when questioned, now granted, he didn't have to volunteer this information. I'm trying to figure out to today why he said that. He said he was married for 24 years, but he left his wife. He quit. No, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. He quit on his wife. You walked out on your marriage. The same thing I will get on any woman on this app for doing, you did. You did it. And you believe you're entitled to respect. That and other things as well. That I have a problem with. Number one, I have a problem with men who has entitlement issues. Number two, I cannot look up to you because, it's hard for me to respect you because of what you did to your home. So because you've been married 24 years, that means I'm supposed to automatically defer to you. I will be married 6 years on December 17th. I'm still married. I did not quit on my wife. Why would I respect a quitter? You quit on your family, and family is one of the foundations of the Black community. Why are you entitled to respect? So I do not respect them. That individual, I don't respect them. Now, there are things that we do need to live by. And those who don't live by the code of the community, that right there determines if you're going to get respect or not. Granted, we're going to try to get as much as we can in today. I'll leave room for us to add more on October 16th. But we already have it established of how you earn and gain respect. That man, right, that particular gentleman I'm talking about, and granted, I will openly admit, I should not have did a room castrating majority of the baby boomers. I will openly admit to that right now. Because my missile, granted, I clarified it in the room, but nevertheless, that was a L on my part. My missile was aimed towards that particular individual and anybody like him. So we know who earns respect and who doesn't. We know that moving forward. But other than that, brothers, we did good with this one. This is for the single folks. Now let's get into marriage. If there's anything that needs to be added, let's go ahead and skip to the next step. Actually, let me reset the room. This is the B.TS Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Follow me, follow the team, follow any speakers you resonate with. This is a code of conduct for the community. This is the men's stage only room. Women are allowed to listen. Women are allowed to make contributions through the comment section. But you check the link up top if you're on Clubhouse. As a matter of fact, let me put this on the ticker for online. We will have a room for the women next week, this coming Tuesday, 12 o'clock News Central, exclusively on Clubhouse. It will be a women's forum, a code of conduct for the community. We have to talk to the brothers first because they are the backbone of this community. They're the reason why this community will rise and fall. Now let's get to marriage. So, like I said, structure, organization, presentation. That's what a marriage brings to a household. And that is what is ultimately done in the community. It's run the same way. So when we cross over to that realm of being married, what are some other codes, if any, needs to be added? Open mic, popcorn style. To anybody, do you think there's anything to just add? Because we're going to start from one. This is for marriage. Jonathan, go ahead.
Well, from what I've realized with our young men, even some men of our own maturity, I would say maturity rather than age, there's been unconscious, it's like a unwritten rule. It goes without saying. We understand what needs to be done in our communities or in our households and things of that nature. And we just move forward and just start from there. However, in actuality, I believe that there needs to be some form of rite of passage in place or something, because leadership is not a birthright. Leaderships aren't born, they're built. And too many times I hear men take a beautiful message like what we're trying to construct today, and they take that message and it gets deteriorated into a way of they're trying to get this kind of self-satisfying pleasure out of something that is constructed to create a greater good for the community as a collective, if that makes sense.
No, it does. And I think the first code, to be honest, is don't run away from making a tough decision. What do I mean by that? To use Jonathan's scenario about there's some people who will misconstrue what we're doing right now into something that's not going to be helpful to the community. I say plain and simple. I'm not afraid of telling people I don't want to rock with you. I will not rock with you because you're bringing me down. And you bring me down, you bring my family down. And you bring a number of households down, you're going to bring the community down. So I would say, well, that's 2 points. Number one, don't be afraid to make a tough decision to isolate people, which is the second option, is isolation. You got to be afraid you can't be afraid to cut people off. I know we have friends, we have family members that we hold on to for dear life. You got to let them go. But case in point, let me try to do a substitution because I don't want to put anybody that I know their business on blast. Okay, gotcha. There was this family who they went through a divorce. The problem is the kids were divided. One wanted to stay with the mom, one wanted to stay with the dad. At the meantime, they were with the father, but one of the kids kept acting out and bringing the mother's negative spirit into that household. Anyone want to guess what the father did?
Send the kid to live with his mom.
There you go. Because that one kid will be a bad influence to the other children. Get rid of them. Now, most people, particularly women, and we understand this, they will not make that decision at all. And I don't expect them to make that tough decision. That's a man's job. We ultimately have to make the right decision that's going to better the family first. It has to better the foundation first. If that one bad apple is going to ruin everything, get rid of that bad apple, even if it is your own flesh and blood. So, as leaders, we cannot run away from making a tough decision. And even if that means isolating our family members. And you will go to sleep every night with a clear mind and a clear heart, knowing that you made the right decision as a man. You go to sleep with no regrets. Matter of fact, that's the third thing right there. Let me actually start writing this down. In regards to home 2, which is marriage, code 1, don't never run from a tough decision. 2, never be afraid to isolate individuals, even if they are your family members.
Gotta go, Chris. Good talk.
All right, my brother, I appreciate you.
All right, bro.
And the third one, live with no regrets. Now, I'm not saying just go make any stupid ass decision and be like, I don't regret a thing I did. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying when it comes to these tough decisions and making the right decision, live with no regret. That individual that made that decision is still alive, kicking, not regretting a thing. Of course, he still helps out that child, that individual. He still helps them out even to this day, but from a distance, because you can only help them so much. Now, those who are listening to this on replay, I know some of y'all are clutching your pearls, but hey, welcome to the life of a man. It's not made for everybody. It's not built for everybody. This community has been trying to live and make the decision as a man for over 60 years, and look where we are right now. No offense, but I'm just saying. Allow us to take control of our house. Not allow us. Let me rephrase that, because we got to stop telling people to allow us to do anything. We're going to take control of this house, and we're going to make the decisions, and we're going to live with it. If you don't want to support, you can leave. Simple as that. If that's too aggressive, if that's too strict, hey, it's the life of a man. Let's go ahead and keep it moving, gentlemen. I provided 3 codes for the community. Never run from a tough decision. Never be afraid to isolate individuals. Live with no regrets. Let's work on this 4th one. Mo, what you got? Men. That this case, we're talking about men who are head of the household, wife, kids, the whole 9 yards. What you got? And I do understand, because we came up with 20 codes in the last conversation, I don't expect this one to reach that same number. We just need to have something on the table for the ladies to work with on Tuesday. So I'm gonna give Mo a chance to think about it. Bag, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? What's up to everybody on stage?
What's going on? We're living, man. Talk to me. Code for before we get to the community, we gotta get to the household. We already came with 20 codes for Black men to deal with when they're single. Now we're working on husbands, fathers. What codes should be done in the house before we get to the community?
Are we talking about the codes inside of a relationship between a man and woman, like that household?
All the everything, just within the house. Everything within the house, including relationships. What are the codes that these leaders can live by?
House business is supposed to stay in the house.
There we go.
What happens in this house is supposed to stay in this house, and people need to stop openly sharing and freely giving out specific information pertaining to their life, especially on the internet, because it always seems they get mad when they get judged. But if you don't talk about it, won't nobody know. So the one thing is, we need to have a conflict resolution that stays within the confines of the house, because people outside the house, because they don't have a dog in the fight, it doesn't matter whether the house stays together or not. So the people who are involved, it should be worked out inside of the house, and that's where it should stay. That's one thing that I think. I don't think that that's actually pointed out enough. I'm not saying that you shouldn't seek to the people that's outside the house, but the thing about Black people is we specific, but we only specific when we want to be specific. I'll give you an example. If I need my AC repaired in my car, I'm gonna take it to a shop that does AC repair, right? If I need my AC repaired in my house, I'm gonna call an AC repairman. But if I have a business venture or idea I want to do, I call my broke best friend. Or if I want to talk about something that I have going on where it's feelings, or something relationship, we don't hit up a relationship expert. Sometimes we have these conversations with people who can't even maintain a healthy relationship, never been in a healthy relationship, and don't know what it looks like. So that's another thing. We have to have appropriate counsel for the things that we're trying to get worked out. So I think conflict resolution inside of the household should definitely be the main thing that a man uses, and also expresses that to his partner and vice versa. And that needs to be a part of the vetting process, so you can kind of iron out people who are going to be against it, because there are some people who just publicly broadcast everything, and I'm very against it. Other than that, I can't think of too many other things. I think that another thing with our community, we need to have these discussions about our people just with our people. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I don't think we should, I'm not saying allow, because we can't stop people from doing anything, but we shouldn't be out here trying to join the conversation, talking about other races or other groups. We need to keep everything in our community, and we need to shun away from people who not in our community but who has an opinion about our community.
Okay. Actually, let me stand up real quick, because I've been sitting in this uncomfortable chair of mine for about an hour and a half now. Let me back up so the camera can see me. To what you're saying, Bag, keep family business at home. Completely agree. What goes on in my house happens in my house and will be fixed in my house. Is where you got conflict resolution. Now, it's about other people speaking on the community. One thing you did say, and I do respect, if we don't want people speaking on our community, we shouldn't speak on anybody else's. Now, some people will make the argument that who are we going to compare our community to? That's why they always want to use the European Americans. They want to use Mexican American, Hispanic Americans, or whatever the case may be. And one thing I want to add to them is the Black community was thriving before. You can go back to 60 years ago, we were thriving. You can go back to Black Wall Street, which is something we're going to get into in a minute. Let's compare ourselves to the past, because there is a, how can I say this? There's already a community guideline on how Black people should live and conduct themselves. We just need to go read up on it. modernize it to a degree, and live by that code. So to what you're saying, Big Bag, 100% I agree with that. Appreciate it. Mo, are you still having technical difficulties?
I know we man to restart this.
Yeah.
So what I was let me iron out one more point.
Go ahead.
I've been on Clubhouse before, and there's this Samoan guy on this app, and I've seen him make rooms about black women, even though he's not black. And I'll come in and I'll laugh and kiki because I don't take it too serious, because it's like, okay, why are the black women even in here listening to this? You know, because a lot of this is a culture thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. And I get it. I'm saying we don't have to be mean about it or asshole about it. But I'm pretty sure people will feel a certain type of way if we spoke on their culture and we really don't know shit. We just going off stuff that we've heard. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot of people that can sound like they know what they're talking about if they speak in general enough or they go by what they heard. But in some people, we just got to stop giving them a voice when it comes to our culture, our community. You know what I'm saying? And there's no shot at Mohawk, because that's my boy. We always going to be cool. It's just that sometimes the stuff he be saying be so ridiculous, I just don't respond because it's just so ridiculous. You don't have to respond. You get what I'm saying? But things of that nature, that's the example I want to use. Oh, yeah, I'm calling you.
I think you hear you now, boy, so you know, free reign.
He'll be back. Keep it within. Keep it with. And I think that's what we're going to put for the 6th option. Keep it within the community, and I'm going to put opinions. Oh, I maxed out. Okay, let me copy and paste that. Oops.
Do you have something in there about those crazy Trinidadians too?
You were so dumb. My God,
so,
man.
We only crazy like 63% of the time, bro.
No, they're not crazy. They're just arrogant as hell. They think they invented carnival.
Yeah, and we did that shit, nigga. We did that shit, nigga.
Oh, man.
Oh, fuck you mean, right?
So, I'm going to get Trini active, man.
Jamaicans got the best below.
Yeah, Jamaicans wish. These Jamaicans only wish, bro. That main character syndrome from them Jamaicans is wild, bro. It's crazy.
Oh, man, y'all hilarious. But I appreciate what you're saying. In regards to Moa, like what he's saying is, I know because a lot of people find what he says unfavoring. I think it's just might be delivery, but other than that, he has a point with what he's saying. It's just sometimes his delivery might be off. Lord knows I didn't always have the best delivery myself. So with time and work, Moa's going to be fine. So don't even sweat that. He'll get there. He'll be fine. But let's keep it moving. Trini, Cowboy, John is on the phone. Merk, and Devin, what you guys got as far as households, particularly the husband, the father? What codes do you have for them in regards so we can get to the community part?
I think that you got to be willing to die on your post.
Oh, there we go. Die on your post. Go, keep going. I like that.
Die on your post, and it be event your death. Man. Don't let your death reverse all of the progress that you made with your family.
I like that. Die on your post, because some people will, when stuff gets real, people will jet. That I cannot respect. If I'm gonna die protecting me and mine. So that's 100% real. I appreciate that, man. What else you guys got? Trini, Cowboy, Devin, what you got?
we'll make better choices about who we have as partners as well.
Mm-hmm. Now that's true because we don't mind dying for our wives, our family, but some people do think because they are women that men are automatically going to die for them. Like I tell people, I'm only responsible for protecting one black woman, and that's my wife. Anything else, if I ever do decide to protect any woman after that, that's a common courtesy. So I will die for 100%. I will die for mine. So you're absolutely right on that. Appreciate it. And like I said, on this one, we wasn't going to have a lot to add because we cover most of it in the on the single stage for black men. Because when they transition into being a husband and a father, those codes still remain the same. It gets a little bit heavier because you have more responsibility now. So we got to make sure that those brothers were covered. And like I said, we will leave room to add more on October 16th when the stage will be open to everybody, men and women. But I wanted to talk to the brothers today. What else can I add? Can I add anything to this list? I know I added never run from a tough decision. I also said never be afraid to isolate anybody and live with your regrets. And Bad came in and said keep family business at home and conflict resolution need to be within the house, which I agree. Also said keep it within the community. And Merck said die in your post, die being a man, die protecting your family. That's a standard right there. I agree. Now, let me do another reset. Then we're going to get to the community part. This is the B.TS show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tristan J. Follow me, follow the team, follow any speakers you resonate with. This is the code of conduct for the community. I'm only talking to the men only. The women will have their own stage this coming Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon Central Standard Time, exclusively on Clubhouse. So be ready for that. Now, let's get into business. Now that we solidify ourselves as single men, we solidify ourselves as a husbands, because all of that will prepare us. Let me go ahead and take a seat for this one. All of that is going to prepare us to be leaders in the community, not only at home, but in the community. So we're finally here at the main event. This is the code that I have always been looking for, that no one to this day has been able to give to me. And one of the reasons why I'm holding this room, because I want to make sure that we can always refer back to this. At the bare minimum, we tried. Not we tried, we did. We did come up with the code of the community. And this is something that we all should live by. It starts today. The woman will continue with this coming Tuesday. And we all come back on October 16th for a solidification, if that is a word. And for the record, I'm good at making up my own words. So let's go ahead and get into it. With all that we mentioned, what is a code that the community should live by? What is something that is universal? Not anything preferential, because we had a room about that last week, the difference between standards and preference. This is something where if I go to any household, this should be the automatic. Thumbs up, we're all moving this way. Because our political views may be different. Our religious views may be different. Hell, our music taste is different. The question is, what is that? What are those codes that is universal that we should all live by? It starts here. Now, I know a lot of people is going to bring up support and whatever the case may be to support our own, which I agree. If there is a black doctor's office, there is a black grocery store, there's the other two pillars of the community that makes a community. I cannot remember it off the top of my head. I need to go look for it. If there is anything Black, of course, the quality has to be on point. But yes, I do believe we should support. Matter of fact, if those who are watching on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, I'm currently wearing a Black-owned business clothing brand. The hat, particularly, I'll go get the shirt in a minute. But what is a code for the community? When we say stay on code, now we have a code that we can live by. What is that code? Wow, and if you guys could ping people into this room, I would greatly appreciate it. What is the code that all of us can live by? There we go. Code 1, family first. Oh, and also, if somebody appears in the audience and you recognize them as a brother, let me know and I'll put them on stage. Nerd, I know for a fact you come on stage. Let's see. All right, Nerd, what's going on, man?
Yeah, I just came from the smoke detector's room. I don't know why I keep going in there. It's a waste of time.
What happened now? I gotta hear this.
So KBJ is trying to rationalize with her, but he told me in the back channel he's just trolling her. But she keeps talking and saying, "Oh, if you were never married, you would have no idea why marriages don't work." And I'm like, okay, you may not have all the idea, but you have some idea. So basically, this is what Clubhouse Black women like to do when they just want to dismiss opinions, is they'll say, oh, well, if you never lived in the hood, then you can't tell me what to do. Or if you never lived through this experience, you can't tell me anything.
She said, if you've never been married, you would not know how marriages felt, which is absolute bullshit, by the way. Has she been married?
I think so, but I forget her situation. But
there's always a situation. Okay, so what's code number 2? Don't listen to idiots. Let me write that down, because Lord have mercy. All right, Mark is on the phone. He brought up the first code for the community to Nerd. We came up with actually 3 sets of codes. First one is home, in regards to if you're single and a single brother. Second is home, if you're a husband or a father. Now we're on a community. Merck brought up family first, so which I 100% agree. My code is be aware of the advice you receive.
Did you say be real or be cautious?
Cautious sounds much better. Appreciate it.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because smoke is cool. And I will admit, she does tend to have deep philosophy. I can't even say the word. Granted, probably doesn't deserve to be there.
Philosophy.
Yeah, philosophical thoughts. There you go. She had deep I fucked it up again. Fuck it. But she has a lot of deep thoughts, and I understand that she tries to think outside the box when she does her room. That's why with her, I had to ask for context. And when I get the contact, sometimes I'm very disappointed. So you have to really be cautious of the advice that you receive from others. But let's go ahead and keep it moving. What are the goals for the community? We're almost done, fellas, I promise. Back, what you got?
What I got on what?
Code for the community. We were talking about the brother. We were talking about the men if they were single. We talked about the man in the relationship in the household. Now let's get into the actual community. What are some things that we need to live by and something we need to give to others so that way they can succeed?
Men should protect our women.
Protect our women.
And we're going to protect all of our women. All of these rooms about we shouldn't protect our women, that's bullshit, because the first line of protection is communication. It's instructions. So you telling a woman not to do something that won't be conducive to her success or something that could work against her in the future, that's the form of protection. It's not to go fight somebody with a gun or step in and take a bullet. It's simply saying, hey, how about you do things this way? We got to start being more vocal about the stuff in the community, because that's the reason why it's gotten to a point to where it is today. Because the men who are successful in our community, I'm not saying that they don't care or they turn a blind eye. It's just that we're too busy handling our business. Winners don't spend time sitting up thinking about the losers and how hard they have it. No, they just focus on fucking winning. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're obligated to do that, but we need to start doing a better effort of letting it be known, hey, there's a better way. You get what I'm saying? And even for the men too. So we need to protect each other, and the first form of protection is communication. If you see something, I'm not saying that we should just pull everybody to the side, especially strangers. But I know we see people that remind us of other people, just like sometimes we meet people that remind us of ourselves. You get what I'm saying? And we can use those as examples of this is what not to fucking do. You know, the example of those women twerking on that table in that restaurant was the example of what not to do. And it had nothing to do with them shaking their asses in public. It had everything to do with, this is a black man who's probably spent years working for the white man just so he can get his business up and running off the ground for women of his own race to come in and dance on his furniture and on his tables. Like, this not no hood spot. Go do that shit in the hood. That's an example of what not to do. It had nothing to do with those women twerking and everything to do with proper decorum and respect. You're not going to shake your ass on a white man table, but you will do it to your fellow brother.
Right. No, that's 100% real. I don't mind that now. When regards
everybody should have shamed them women coming out of that restaurant. The problem is everybody tries to make an excuse for doing wrong, but they don't always see the bigger picture. Every time we put an image out there of us making ourselves look stupid, it's something that can be used against us to continue to paint the narrative. One of the reasons why in the 60s and 70s, it was hard for them to try to keep painting black people a certain way is because we actually wore suits back then. We actually dressed up. We actually gave a fuck. There used to be a dress code to come to church. But then the preacher started deciding, you know what, as long as you donate and come as you are. So the standards, the bar has been lowered too much, and we need to raise that motherfucker. So that's all I'm saying.
That is correct. I was one of the people who also condemn those women. I think that was a Dallas restaurant, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, that was in the uptown area. That's where the rich folks live at. That wasn't in the hood or nothing. Like it was insane.
And when you say protect all women, I actually agree. Breezy, what's up, man? I'm gonna bring you up. When it comes to protecting women, protection doesn't have to always be physical. It could be correction. And I know I'm notorious for telling women, if I can't correct you, I won't protect you. And ladies will say, how will we receive protection? And I'm like, you've been receiving protection since you was born. Your father protected you. Your grandfather protected you. Your uncles protected you. Your cousins protected you. Your brothers, older or younger, have protected you. And they're going to protect you all the way up until a man is going to come and take you from one covenant to another. Women has always been protected. They don't tend to utilize the protection that's at their hands because they want to live and do whatever they want to do. When their protectors are telling them how to move and how to conduct themselves and how to behave. Now, there are some women who don't want to listen to none of that. I get it. And I'm going to get, like I said, I can't wait to tear a new one to this individual in just a minute. There's some women who don't want to receive that protection. And for that, sometimes you got to feed them to the wolves. And that is necessary because other women can see what happened to this individual that used to be one of them. And they were like, you know what? I'm gonna listen to my dad. I'm gonna listen to my grandfather. I'm gonna listen to the mans in my family. Or better yet, I'm gonna listen to my husband because he has the best interest for me. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. We do need to protect our women, all of them. And protection doesn't always have to be physical. It could be correction. It could be spiritual protection. It could be emotional protection. There's even financial protection. Yes. All forms of protection is on the table. I agree. I appreciate it. Hey, hold on. You guys rock out real quick. I need to go do a wardrobe change. I'll be right back.
Let's not forget mental protection.
Absolutely. Mental protection.
Yeah, so I don't agree with the all thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a waste of time and energy and resources, you know, to protect women that shouldn't be protected. You know, especially women who are detrimental to the community, you know, which goes into some of our other codes of separation. You know, not everybody can go. You know what I'm saying? And you got to cut some people loose. Like the women who went around talking about abort, you know, black male children. You know, you're going to go and protect that? Like, really? You know, is that what you're going to do? You know, so you got to, you know, you don't know when it comes to strangers and stuff. For the most part, you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what their ideals, you don't know their lineup or whatever, you know? So, okay, that makes sense. But when you know that a black woman is moving a certain way, you know what I'm saying? No, she doesn't deserve the protection. I mean, you can do what you want, but as a code, you know, typically black people never protected people that weren't about black people. You see what I'm saying? And when they start doing crazy stuff that was detrimental to the community, you know, they didn't get the protection. And that's how we need to move with that.
And I agree with that 100%. That's why I stated that I will protect all women, the ones that want to be protected, the ones who don't, i.e. the Cynthia G's of the world. Sorry, you gotta let them burn in the fire.
Oh no, they expect the protection. They want the protection.
And guess what?
They all do. But you know, and that's one thing I haven't heard come out of a black woman's mouth. She may say, I don't need a man, but she doesn't say, I don't need protection. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be able to, those, again, you know, strangers in the street, you don't know what's going on. You know, hey, you probably don't want to go in there, you know, whatever it is. You know, that club is kind of ratchet. You probably don't, they be groping chicks. You probably don't want to go in there, right? You know, but if you know a chick ain't, you know, full of shit, and then what you wasting resources. Take those resources over to the women that deserve protection.
Speaking, and and that kind of leads into the next code. Let me just go ahead and tap this out real quick. Stop taking the lead from women. Stop taking the lead from women, meaning you are in charge of the relationship. You are in charge of the house. You are in charge of the community. You dictate what's going to happen. Stop allowing women, as strong as they are not the leaders of the community. That's you. Stop letting women dictate what you're going to do. Your mother used to do that. Your big mama used to do that. And granted, all of that was supposed to come from your father. All of that was supposed to come from the grandfather. But because it's been them and them alone, they've been dictating how the community needs to be run. Stop letting women lead. They don't tell me what they're going to do or what's going to happen. I do that. We do that, not them. We need to stop that. And to be quite honest, they're tired of doing that. They want a man to take charge and be aggressive and tell them what to do, not abusive. There's a difference between being aggressive. There's a difference between being abusive. They're not the same. Got to put that clarification out there. These women want to be taken charge of. Just do it. You already take charge of everything else. Take charge of them. And they will lead. They will follow. They will follow right behind you. Granted, you need to have a plan, of course. You need to have a plan. You need to have confidence. You need to have all of that. Otherwise, ain't no woman going to follow you.
I got to give you a little pushback on that, bro.
Talk to me. I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to being wrong. So talk to me.
That are going to be easier said than done, and I'm not trying to play the blame game. Mm-hmm. But there are some women who have coddled some of these men, and real deal raised them up to be a certain way. And I've met a lot of men in my life. I can't give you a percentage. It's at least 10, 20% to where they go from leaning on their mama to leaning on a woman. And they woman handle damn near everything. And I'm not saying that these men won't get out and work, but these are the type of men who come home and they give their woman their whole check. She take care of the bills. She do such and such. She manage the money. There are some men who, what I'm saying is, for every masculine woman, there's a beta who's going to deal with that shit. And I'm not saying that you're a beta just because you're passive, but you got some men who are nonchalant. It's almost like a personality type. And I don't want to just say that these men are less than men, but there are some men that do not belong in leadership positions. But I'm not going to be one of the people that say you shouldn't be in a relationship because you're not in a leadership position, because that man could still be part of bringing forth the next of our generations, and they could be productive in society. Now, of course, I would hate for him to reproduce himself and to have another man in this world who's like that. But we can't ignore that those men exist, and those men can still be productive to society. So I get exactly what you're saying. Yes, no man should be following a woman's lead. But the shit is going to always happen if you have an overbearing mother who raised you in a certain manner. And you know what I'm saying? They basically, they get put against the 8-ball, and they seek out these overpowering, domineering women that remind them of their mama. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's loud, aggressive, and you know what I'm saying? Swollen ankles, even though they're not pregnant women. They look for these type of women. So that's the only pushback that I give you on that, because I actually agree with you. And I know that we making this code of conduct, there's never going to be a one size fits all. But I just wanted to highlight that every man isn't supposed to be in a leadership position, you know. So, but I'm gonna yield the mic. I'm not trying to be disruptive. I just wanted to highlight that.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that 100%. That's definitely allowed here, because iron sharpens iron. If there's something I'm saying that's wrong, I expect you guys to stop. Be like, yo, Chris, stop. We got to fix that. So let's talk about that. What you just said in regards to passive men. Yeah, they exist out here. Now, the harsh reality is not all. How can I say this? If I can say this, put this delicately. All leaders are supposed to be men, but unfortunately, life has shown us that all men are not leaders. That's the sad truth about it. So, what do we do with those men? We to a degree, have to create a space for them. Granted, they need to know how to do their job as a man. I don't care how passive they are. We cannot care about that, because I sure as hell don't. Do you know how to do your job as a man? Do you know how to hold down your household? Do you know to play your part in the community when you see something go left? The answer should always be yes. Now, in regards to these passive men that want aggressive women like their mothers, the guidelines still stay the same. Stop taking the lead from the women. Because if you do, we have long enough track record on what happens when men take the lead from the women, especially if the women it's not under a particular covering. We know what's going to happen. So the question is, why should we allow it? Why should we not speak out against it? I'm going to speak out against it 100%. I understand that there are some women that are aggressive out there. And I will tell them this. The ladies, the only time you need to be really aggressive is at work. There might be a space where you need to be aggressive at home, and that's only when there's a situation coming, and this is for the betterment of the family. You just being aggressive just to be aggressive, and you don't know how to turn that shit off, that's a problem. Yes, we all had that aggressive mother. That doesn't, and we see how that hinder us to this day. That doesn't mean we continue on with the trauma. That's generation curse. That's a generation curse right there, if anything. Continuing the pain, continuing the trauma, and you passing it on to your children, because that aggressive woman is going to find a reason to leave your ass. Now your children are left with the wrath of an angry woman. Of an aggressive woman. We can't allow that. We can't. I just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to that. Not today, at least. If you see anybody that's loud, aggressive, out of place, not in a square, leave them alone. Like, seriously, leave them alone. If they tell you who you are, if they tell you who they are, believe them. Don't sit back and try to change somebody. I have done that plenty of times before, and I failed miserably. Changing somebody that doesn't want to change. I found somebody that was wife ready. Like, I'm husband ready. She was wife ready. And we were both parent ready. So I feel what you're saying, my brother. And you're absolutely right. Those type of men exist. Like I said, we might need to just go back to isolation. This is going to sound much, but I'm going to say it. We got to let the weak die off. The weak was never going to survive anyway. And for the sake of these children, let them go. I'm talking about the weak men. Let them die. And the women that will still be here, aggressive, let them die alone. That's the only solution I see for them. Matter of fact, let me add that as a code. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Let me know. I'm about to step out the office real quick. Let me know if the sound dropped.
Okay.
I just want to amplify what you were saying, which is the fact it's generational, and I always say this, Black women's culture is male bashing is a staple in Black women's culture. It's just a fact. They really get into it. They get off on male bashing, misandry. And I don't know why it's so ingrained in their culture, but it is. That's the way Black women communicate, and they bring it in the home. And when there's no male there to check them, they push it on to the sons, and they teach it to the daughters. And it just perpetuates it. And so when you're in a situation like that with a woman who behaves like that, and I've been there too. I'm 40 years old. I've been there. We all been there. You kind of, it's like that she's wrong, okay, and you recognize how vulnerable she might be, and you sit around, you try to fix her because you know the dangers that are out there and shit like that, but it really is a waste of time in this political structure and economic structure that we're in. You don't have any backing from the community or from the government to stand your will, to impose your will in a home with a woman, whether you're cohabitating or whether you're married. So, unfortunately, your hands are really tied in terms of correction. And so it's really about realizing that, it's impossible to argue with somebody who's not talking. Okay, so as soon as the woman starts doing that, she starts breaking back, it's really, you got to take it upon yourself to break communication. You really shouldn't be talking anymore at that point. And you should be phasing out. And you should got to always keep an exit strategy. And the ability to just, a bug out bag is what they used to call it. Just have a way to just phase out. Because you're not going to change it. Once women go sour, they don't come back. And so really it's about conquering your mother who's inside your mind, because that's that woman inside of you that makes you feel like you need to continue arguing with the woman, that you need to respond to what she said. You don't have to respond to what she said. Once you see she clearly is out of line, once you see what trajectory she's on, you just got to suck that shit up and just find another one. Or be ready to just be alone. It's cool. Sometimes you got to face the drought. You can't be scared to face a pussy drought. This nigga's doing time. They have to do that. Some niggas deployed off to war. They got to face it. In the history of mankind, men have always had situations where they had to go without some pussy. And you have to just be, you got to be strong enough to do it. Some men, they go off to college. Some men, they go off, it's just things you got to do sometimes. You got to be willing to face the lack of pussy for a while. Otherwise, that shit could destroy you. Fuck around and set you back decades. Going in circles with a woman who's stuck like that. And lastly, you're feeding into it, right? The best thing you can do for that woman is to leave her. Mm-hmm. She has to feel it. You know what I'm saying? So if you really care about a woman who's behaving like that, go on ahead and let her go and phase out.
I agree. 100%. You want to save them? Let them go. We'll be all right, fellas. Especially since we have the numbers that are in our favors. Either way, we'll be all right. There's plenty of people. Like when it comes to women, I've been saying this as of late. Treat it like a 2K character. Build your wife from scratch. Find your 3 standards. Of course, you can add more, but find your 3 standards. Then once you filter the woman based off of your standards, now you can worry about the preferences. She could be big. She can be skinny, she can be thick, she can be dark skinned, she can be light skinned. Although we don't do colorism here. I'm just talking about preferences, just for the record. She could be whatever you want her to be. Then once you find that out, once you get that complete, you just need to get it right one time. Go out there and find that woman. She's out there. The woman that is right for you is already walking this planet waiting for you to go find her. So why would you deal with a woman based off of the traumas of your past? I made sure my wife was not. I made sure. Let me choose my words carefully. I made sure my wife was nothing like the women I came across growing up. When I tell you God hooked me up with that one, God hooked me up with that one. Lisa, thank you for joining us, but you already know the deal. Your room is next Tuesday. I promise. You can stay in the audience. You can be in the comment section, but your room to moderate will be next Tuesday. I promise. You have my word. You, Bella, Malika, who else? Jay, yes, thank you. You guys have your room to run it however you see fit. Trust me. Just wait till Tuesday. I got you. But actually, I will bring you on stage once we get to the next segment because it's based off of what we was talking about in the group chat last night. So that's yeah, you got to build your wife up from scratch, and once you do, you will know what you're going to deal with and what you're not going to tolerate. An aggressive woman may be necessary. No, actually, no. A woman with an aggressive trait will be necessary when it comes to a situation that comes and goes here and there, or whatever the case may be. But a woman that's aggressive 24/7, no, we ain't got time for that. Let it go. That's why the 6 code of conduct for the community. Let the aggressive women die alone. The first one was let the weak man die, and let the aggressive women die alone. At least a hard head. Is there anything else I'm overlooking? Mitchell, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, talk to me. What's the code of conduct for the community? We talk about staying on code. This is the room. This is the live stream where we're going to come up with code. We came up with codes earlier. If you're a single man living on your own, we got code for that. If you're a man that's a husband or a father or both, we got a code for that. Now we got a code for the community. What is the code that all Black people should live by in this country?
Primarily self-accountability and self-responsibility for all of your decisions, even the outcomes that weren't fully your responsibility. Taking responsibility and self-accountability for your part of it. And then fixing the problem. Whatever you were doing wrong, understanding it, and making a conscious decision not to repeat those same mistakes.
I like that. So that's number 7, self-responsibility and self-accountability. All right, dope. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mitchell. We preach it on this app. We got to make sure we practice what we preach. Self-accountability and self-responsibility. I appreciate that. So in total, how many codes did we come up with? 26. We had 33. Lord have mercy. That's actually good. All right. Any last ones? Any other code of conduct? Like I said, what we don't come up with today will be brought up on October 16th once we have a room for men and women to join. Lord, just want to talk to the brothers, and I wanted to give a room for the fellas to talk. Are there any other codes that we are forgetting?
Yeah, so I'm a little late to the room, so I'm not sure if you're able to run down your list so far. So I'm not talking over one of the ones that you already went over.
Give me 1 second. Let me notify my team to come. The ladies that they are welcome to come in. Let's see. All right, as far as the codes, let's go ahead and run them down. All right. As far as home, we're talking about stability. When it comes to men, especially those who are single and living on their own, there's still a code for them to conduct themselves. Here's the 20 we came up with. Stability, structure, know your role in regards to gender, emotional control, prioritization, image, using money as a tool, safety, define your role, deal with all small conflicts in-house, live below your means so you can build your net worth, build tools for habitual, ineffective communication. Communicate for purposeful communication, not agreement. No weaponization of sex, unpleasant experiences, or previous trauma. Plan out the end game. Health. Motivate and support others. Love and respect. Accountability and intentional. That's the first 20 as far as men staying out on their own. There's still a code that they need to come up with. Now, if they are husbands and fathers, here's the next code. Never run from a tough decision. Never be afraid to isolate individuals, meaning if they're going to bring the whole family down, let them go. Like a cancer, you either use chemo or you cut it out. Next, live with no regrets. Keep family business at home. Conflict resolutions. Keep it within the community as far as opinions goes. If we don't want people talking about our community, we're not going to talk about theirs. Last, die on your post. Do not abandon your family. Our job is to protect and provide. You will protect your family by any means necessary, even if it means giving up your life. Now, as we go on to the community, family first. Be cautious of the advice you receive. Protect all women. And by protection, it's not only physical, it could be mental, emotional, spiritual, financial protection, giving guidance and correction to those who will receive it, by the way. Next up, stop taking the lead from women. Stop letting women lead you and your household. You lead your own household. 5, let the weak die. 6, let the aggressive die alone. Number 5 is for the men, as far as weakness. Number 6 is the aggressive women, let them die alone. And the 7th one is self-accountability and responsibility. That's about 33 codes in total.
Can I add something to add, possibly a number 1?
Sure.
Have a high level of respect for yourself. Just, some of those other ones are going to tie into that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you truthfully respect yourself and have self-love, a lot of these things will fall into alignment naturally. And I'm not talking like a grandiose type of, I'm the best type of love, but like truly knowing that you have value to give you a purpose and then step into that purpose.
Right. 100% self-respect. You don't respect you, don't expect anybody else to do it. I agree. Anything else before we get into what happened last night?
Yeah, the community, we need to add education, man.
Education?
Yeah, we need to add education. You know what I mean? Man, it literally hurts my stomach saying this, but our sisters are leading us in education. I see that as disappointing and depressing. What do you all think on that?
In regard,
I don't with you, but I don't think it's limited to school education.
Yeah,
I think that's where.
This understand something. America's played the dirty trick. You know what I'm saying? On all of us. You know what I'm saying? And so there's this idea that you're going to go to college and then everything's going to be great or greater or better or whatever. College isn't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a trade and out-earn everybody in your neighborhood easily. You understand what I'm saying?
That's what I meant. I meant learning for yourself. That's what I meant. Not for financial gain. I mean having the diplomas. Like Dre said, I didn't go to college because I prefer my family to have it all. Right? I didn't go to Harvard. So what I'm saying is, in the community, we should just get the plats, get the diplomas, and just hang it over the household. Do you understand? In the kitchen, in the living room, backyard.
I don't understand
wherever. And let me finish, Cowboy. So basically, what I'm saying is, earn it for yourself, not to make money, not to make a career out of it.
That's still enough.
Hold on, let him finish. Hold on, let him finish real quick.
For me, I have done, when I was young, Cowboy, I'm literally was with you on this, like 100%. When I was young, I did not finish even high school, bro. Like, you talk to a guy, you're talking, let me finish, bro. Let me finish. We're talking to a high school.
Hey, fellas, 1 second.
Let me finish. All right, go ahead, man. You understand what I'm saying? And you're talking about when you're young, brother, you're still young. You know? And most of the time when I'm on the stage, I'm out earning people who are on the stage that I'm on with. You know what I'm saying? I got my own business. I learned a trade. You know what I'm saying? And that's without any debt. You know? I still went to college. You know, because I wanted to change my career. You understand what I'm saying? So I wanted the knowledge. But to just get something to hang on your wall, you just wasted time and money. You know, you should be seeking knowledge. Knowledge should be the key. Not seeking that piece of paper, but the knowledge that's behind it, that's supposed to be behind it. You know, because you started off with, you know, how women are getting better educated, and it's like they're really not. You know, most of them live at or below the poverty line. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't help that they have all this debt hanging over their head, waiting for the government to bail them out, hoping that Biden's going to change a law. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, as a man, you have to be clear. You know, women have to be clear too nowadays. But as a man, you have to be clear on what you want to do with your life. You have to be clear on that before you get out of high school. So you don't waste time in college. Some people are going to waste a year or two and say, you know what, this isn't for me. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay to say, this isn't for me. This is what I really want to do. I want to be a carpenter. I want to be an electrician. I want to do fire alarm systems. You know, I want to work for the phone company. I want to work for the cable company. I want to work for the power company. These are companies that some of them still have a pension and a 401k. They still have both. You know what I'm saying? So they're retiring. These people are retiring comfortably. You know, raise family, put kids through college, and all this stuff. So the great lie about the degree is like we got to get past that. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, them saying that they're better educated than us, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't. So, I mean, I don't think that should, you know, that shouldn't necessarily be a code to get up and go to school. You know, you should at least finish high school or something. But after that, you know, you gotta have a plan for yourself as a man.
But are they ready for Houston?
You know?
Can I throw another one in there for y'all to consider?
Yeah, Mitch. Let me go real quick. So when I said, when I was talking about education, like I said earlier, I was talking about, hey, Ishmael, right? So when I was talking about education, I wasn't talking about financial gain or making a career out of it or whatever. You know what I mean? I was more talking about, you know what I mean? I don't know about y'all, but I'm not liking that our sisters are leading us in education. Granted, financially, they might not, you know, they're a little couple thousand maybe over us, but reality, they're leading us in education. They got more diplomas than any of us do. Like, let's be real. Mm-hmm. Some of them are going from straight to associate all the way to bachelor to masters to PhDs. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, I'm talking about leading in the education field. You understand? If we're going to lead a community, we have to lead in every aspect. We got to lead in the financial department. We have to lead in the education department. You understand? Otherwise, what are we having a community for? Because the kids are going to come, who's going to educate them? You're just going to go grab a tutor out of nowhere, spend money that you don't need to spend? Or would you rather have that knowledge to teach your kids? Yeah, it's great for her to know as well. But what if she gets sick? What then? What are you going to do? You're going to go get a tutor because you didn't finish college? Or even high school? Like, that's why I'm going back next year to finish, get my GED and everything else that I need to do. I'm not liking this. We're going to be leaders in the community. We have to lead in all aspects.
Well,
we can't just sit back and just not lead in education, which is the most important factor next to financial.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not an educated leader, what's the point of you being a leader?
Well, Mo, here's the thing. Hold on, Cowboy.
And as far as teaching your children, my grandfather, he dropped out of school in 5th grade and still taught my mother math. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta, and my mother went on to, earn she graduated with 2 degrees at the same time, and she went on to earn her master's. She's a retired school teacher now. You know what I'm saying? Both my parents have master's degrees. You understand what I'm saying? So, because both my parents have already, earned their masters, they were able to teach the rest of us the purpose of college and how college works. You see what I'm saying? Us going to school to compete with our women is incorrect. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? We could lead the community without earning degrees. You don't need a degree to lead your community. Right. It's not like you get, look up, we got more than you on everything. We got more money, we got more degrees. So you can sit down and shut the hell up. Like, that's not how that works. And just because she's got the degree, she got a doctorate, and still not able to teach. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone can teach. Like me, I don't consider myself a good teacher. I know how to do a lot of things, But for me to sit down and figure out syllabus to teach you about fiber optics, it's just not for me. As much knowledge that I have. Everyone's not good at teaching. But can I pick an algebra book and refresh myself and teach my daughter? No problem. You see what I'm saying? And if you can't, then yes, get a tutor. Do something. But but going to college is not going to guarantee you that you can teach your children. And that's a whole different course. So we don't have to lead in that. We don't have to run up debt in this country, for no reason. It just doesn't make any rhyme or reason. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're taking the black woman's argument and you're holding on. It seems like you're using that. You're holding on to it somehow. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, that's their argument. We got this. We got the most degrees, and and that's how they try to sit us down. It doesn't make sense when they say it. So it doesn't make sense now. I don't get that. I'm not competing with no woman. I don't feel less than because I don't have a master's degree. I don't feel like this woman is, just levitating above me because she's got a doctorate. It's nice that she's got one. Maybe it'll become useful, in the relationship. But it doesn't bother me. That just seems, I'm going to be straightforward. It seems weak. It seems like, you're so uncomfortable with a woman, having, something that you don't have. Like, you got to compete with her. We can't do that. We're not trying to compete with our women. We're just trying to lead our community. And we've been competing enough. And that, we compete in our relationships, and that's why they don't work. I'll land there for now.
Now, and here's the thing real quick. When we talk about, I want to talk to you about that as far as education. Quality over quantity. Always think quality over quantity when it comes to the conversation, when it comes to these degrees that women say they're achieving. We got the most degrees, this and the third. Okay, excuse me, congratulations. Here's a question. What kind of degree you have? You're going to hear some of the most, as Anton say, the most basket weaving degrees that are out there. So if you have a degree, that's perfectly fine. If it's not in the following fields that I'm going to mention, it's pretty much worthless. Not saying that there's not an opportunity for you to leverage your degree so you can make more money. But these degrees are your first degrees, and they're going to pretty much guarantee you some comfort, safety net moving forward. Science, technology, engineer, mathematics, anything paralegal. Outside of those 5 degrees, what's the point of going to college? I'm not playing with you, Lisa. There's almost no point because it's hard. Like, you can leverage other degrees. See, those degrees are your first degrees because you have to get your bachelor's, your doctorates, and all this other stuff. But with the other degrees, your first degrees are useless. Ladies and gentlemen, let me speak from experience. I'm going to have a business degree. That degree in of itself is useless. Now, for me to leverage that, I had to put my experience behind my degrees. And not only that, I had to go to get my master's to, what's what I'm looking for? To get my master's. So that way, that's going to bump me up even more. Like, I make enough money now. Granted, I have to work hard for it, but it's what you do with your degrees. A lot of these women are sticking to the first degrees. And by the time they turn around, they already caused tens of thousands of dollars of damages in regards to student loan, to the point their spirits are defeated because that degree that they work so hard for is useless. They have to go get their master's. A lot of people don't know that because they say, man, if this degree is useless, what's the point of me going getting a second degree? So going to your point, yes, education is right. And MF said knowledge. I agree 100% with the knowledge part. I agree with you in regards to the degrees, but what degree are you getting? If you're going to waste all this money in student loans, make sure it's worth it. That's why I don't get in these debates when it comes to these degrees with women, because all I got to say is, what's your degree? And I stopped and I say, is it in any of those 5 fields I just mentioned? If it's no, conversation is over. Don't talk to me. You're doing yourself a disservice. Now, I will encourage them. One thing I always do is encourage them, go get your second degree. Go get your master's. Go get your doctorates. Go get your whatever you need to go get. Get your ass back in school because that degree you have right now is useless. That's what I tell them all the time. So you're right. You're right, Moa. Education is important. But the question is, what type of education? Quality over quantity. The reason why,
Right,
so that's
what I think, Chris. I'm talking about, like, see, the thing is, I'm not competing with no freaking woman on anything.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? No matter what race she is, ethnic background, it doesn't matter to me. What I'm saying is, I, however, do not see myself as a leader if I am not more educated than the woman that I'm leading. Does that make sense?
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought that up. That's perfectly fine. Let's say if your wife is more educated than you, let's say she makes more money than you, that's perfectly fine. You know why? Because at the end of the day, all of that doesn't mean shit to a man. I'm in charge of this household. No matter what you did before here, anything I do now moving forward is a reflection of me. That's why we held a room of guys who has the final decision in a relationship. Yes, you can listen to your wife. She may offer great discernment. I agree with that 100%. At the end of the day, the final decision is me. I make the final decision because I get the reward, or in most cases, I get the consequences of it while they skate free. So she can make the most money. She can have all the education in the world. Final decision is mine because it's my life and it's my ass on the line, not hers. All of that is assets, extra assets for you to have. Take advantage of it. That's your wife. Take advantage of all of that. But at the end of the day, that decision is me and me alone.
Hey, Chris, I did have the one more to add.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you mentioned hit the gym. And what I followed up with was do physical work. Even if your job or career is not a physical work. And the reason for that is because when we're built, we're wired to be active. So even though we may have a technical job, we may sit in the office doing a lot of work, we may make good money. Doing physical work brings your mind and your body into alignment and takes you back into the place that helps a strong and healthy place.
Mm-hmm.
There.
No problem. I appreciate that.
But you can file that under the health, Chris.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we don't, and I'm guilty of it too. We don't take care of our health. We don't drink enough water. We don't get our prostate exam done when we're supposed to. I worked with one guy. His finger was swollen up, and I said, "What happened?" He was like, he said, "Snake bit me last night." And I said, "You didn't go to the doctor?" And he's like, "Nah, this ain't my first rodeo." And he laughed and thought. You know what I'm saying? I worked with a bunch of guys that used to smoke while working with lead. If you know anything about lead, you're not supposed to smoke, eat, nothing, because you'll ingest it. And I remember I said, "Hey, guys, you're not supposed to smoke while working with lead, I thought." And they turned to me and said, "Well, you want to live forever?" And laughed and kept working.
Yeah, I know.
You understand what I'm saying? These old school dudes, man, they're hardcore. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you, a lot of those guys who trained me at the phone company, they're not alive. Like, they died 3-6 months after retirement. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they put in like 50 plus years, at the phone company. But to die that soon after retirement, it's just like, Jesus. I know how much lead did you ingest, So we as men gotta stop trying to be too tough and take our ass to the damn doctor and get our checkups and all this other stuff, the prostate exam, there's only one way to do it, and you gotta go through the rectum. So that is what it is, And Earthquake did a whole stand-up routine on that stuff. It's on Netflix. So, get yourself checked out, eat right, drink plenty of water, like Mitch is saying, take your ass to the gym. Stop sitting around and laying around, you know what I'm saying? Have some kind of routine, either the gym or whether you run or whatever. If you're able to run in your neighborhood without the cops chasing you down, whatever it is that you do, stay in shape. And when we talk about protection, you can't protect shit if your ass is winded. You know what I'm saying? Get your cardio up. I land there.
That's real. That's why I added do the physical work, like Mitchell say. Your case, go to the doctor, and also added to number 12. Stop avoiding the inevitable. Stop running from the problem. Run to it. So, I think that's enough for now. This is enough for all the women to work with on Tuesday. And like I said, we'll all come back on the 16th. We need to add more, and we need to finalize a lot of things. So, fellas, I'm proud of you guys. I really am. Thank you, because this is a conversation that people can always refer back to. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Final reset, then I got to address this one individual. This is the B.TS Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Follow me, follow my team. Any speaker you resonate with. Conversation is code of conduct for the community. And one of the codes is, which will add, is we gotta be classy and we gotta be respectful. Here's why I say that. There is a show, I believe it's coming to YouTube or whatever the case may be. Let me see. Let me just read the title. Official trailer for a new reality TV series, Boss Moms of Houston, has dropped on YouTube and is juicy. Pregnancy, scandal, millions, billions, athletes. Oh my. Y'all want to put this on the top? I guess I will. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a link to this. All right. Okay. You guys look up top. That's the trailer. So here's what it is. I'm skeptical about reality shows, particularly in Houston. That's just me. But here's what it is. It's about mothers, black women who are entrepreneurs in Houston. Not only they're balancing being an entrepreneur, they're also balancing, I'm pretty sure, the personal life and being a mother. I don't mind that, believe it or not. Not the fact of how they got to that position as far as being single mothers and whatever, different paths, different roles. Without context, I can't say anything in regards to that. But I was like, okay, just seeing something positive that we can work with versus the dumb stuff that's already on TV right now. Let me see if I can find out what's this woman's name. Okay, her name is DeVille. Now, with it was going good per usual. That's how the producers clipped this trailer. Then it came to the dumb stuff. And when it comes to reality TV, I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I mean when I say here comes the dumb shit. So, and that's her name, DeVille Jackson, whatever her name is. And of course, I'm gonna do a separate video in response to her just for the record. And let me add her ad name, which is Vagina Saver. Don't ask. Yeah, it is, and scroll across the bottom. There we go. So here's my response to the trailer. I'm from Houston, born and raised. And based on this trailer, I would not be supporting this show. Maybe that will be up my wife's alley, but it's a hard pass for me. What did I say that was wrong in regards to that?
I didn't hear nothing wrong. I hear nothing, but yeah, sorry I was late. Work was crazy today. I'm still at it before. But yeah, I don't hear anything wrong with it. Like I got nothing wrong.
Yeah, cool. So let's and I went on my day, just whatever. I was already working. And I got a notification. Got a notification. Somebody named Vagina Saber with the blue check mark. I was like, who's this? She said, "Oh, so sad. Don't want to see black women winning in Houston. LOL, poor you. We would not miss you." Her sec.
I've seen that. Can I speak on that real quick, if you don't mind?
Go ahead.
See, I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. I had an epiphany, and it's like, to me, what it is that most, not all, but most black women in that type of field, they want to promote that negativity. Now, that the whole black girl, black girl club, and all of the shows and all that, I didn't even split this thing, to be honest, because you already know how I feel about reality.
Right.
Personally, the reason why us as people are going through the stuff that we are, the reason why we don't own nothing, the reason why we don't politics or govern our own societies, because we're still living in our flesh. When I say living in our flesh, you're not living for the greater good. You're not living for God. You're not living for a purpose. All these shows are
These are flesh. We're more responsible than this. Very disgusting. We've been doing this for years. How many Bad Girls Club type of shows do we need?
Right.
You know? And what is winning? What is really winning? I feel like people's definition of winning primarily just means getting over on everybody by any means necessary. Are you winning on your soul? Majority of people are trying to get to the bag. Oh, you're not getting the bag. You're not getting the bag. What are you doing for that bag? That's definitely a true question. And when they're doing these quote-unquote lucrative deals that are like not for their soul, they're doing it for the flesh. That's why majority of them can't have stable relationships. That's why people be in these little toxic environments. Like majority of these rich people in all these shows, well, not even rich. Majority of people in these shows who talk about they're not even they don't have no money. They just have good representation, make it look like they have money. So majority of them are living in turmoil. Code of conduct, to the topic, I'm sorry that we're here early because work is crazy to that. We have to get back to the old ways. You know what I'm saying? We have to get back to God. There are literally over 600 commandments, and we only deal with 10. We barely do it. We're literally lost as a people. When Eve, I hate to bring this up, but just go back to Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. People still think that Eve was supposed to snake. Hilarious. And people think, like, when I broke, I went through such a phase in all these classes, and I kind of learned what really everything is. The reason why we're suffering is because we're losing away from God. That's really why everyone else is suffering. We're losing our way. These are not our ways. These loud tendencies, this needs to be seen everything everywhere.
Right.
We're not chosen people, and we need to act like it. And if we keep acting the way we're not, if we keep acting irresponsibly and working for flesh and working for yourself, or some Alistair Crowley mindset, I do what I want, then, you know, this is going to continue to happen the way it is. All the times I've met, or I'm not fault for not being rejected. We need to really get back to God. And when I say this respectfully, and you respect, if you're dealing with a woman that's a risk, you gotta check the woman. You gotta check her. You know what I mean? I'm just keeping it stack. And I feel like not everybody should be. Everybody has an instinct. I get that. But if you're with a woman and she's with you, y'all should be able to. If she picked you and chose you to leave, you should be able to trust your leadership. You know what I'm saying? So when we have these conversations, we can't be asking people to do stuff for us, and we're not holding either. So we got to lead by example. Or for that lady that was saying that to you, and you were talking to her about how you personally felt about what you're doing, and she's talking about you mad about winning. What is she really winning? You know what I'm saying? You're married, and she, like, what's really winning? What's winning? You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a fact, and I appreciate your passion for this. It's like, here's the crazy thing about this response. If her second comment, if she would have said that, which was, I'm reading this upside down. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's right, because I responded back to her. I said this. She said, please share this breaking news with your 810 followers hating for zero reason. Had she led with that, that would have been an appropriate response, although it's kind of weak because just like when you get on somebody, they bring up money. Now these days, they bring up followers, which kind of weakens your argument. I probably would or would not have responded, or maybe I did. It would be something like just to really let her know that wasn't hard at all. But the reason why I'm responding is because what she said in the first comment. Real quick, here's my response to her. I gave her 2 laughing emojis. I said, are you sure you want to go down this road? I promise to play nice-ish. And 2 more laughing emojis. Her response, not at all. She doesn't want to go down this road with me. Wise decision on her part. I saw your profile and your pic. Would not be worth my time monetarily, but have a great night, sir. Basically, that's a subtle way of saying she don't want to play that game with me because I have no boundaries compared to her. Because what's a 10 this is something I tell everybody. What's a 10 to you might be a 2 or 3 to me. That's why I don't subscribe to all of these protocols that everybody's on. They say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't say this, you can't say that. I can do whatever I want. You can't stop me. People tried to stop me, they failed every single time. So, but here's ultimately why I'm responding to her. She said, do not want to see Black women winning in Houston. That is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Those who know me, everybody knows that I promote, I'm an influencer, I'm an ambassador. I will promote people's businesses. I even promote other businesses. I promote, there's this one young lady by her brand is named Aubrey Noel, where she's selling eyelashes and other accessories. I've been promoting that. But that's why I looked at that kind of crazy. It's like, she did not know who I am, nor did she know who she was going at, which is fine. But it's all good. Here's the thing. To Miss DeVelly Jackson, I do support others. Matter of fact, let's give her some recognition. She is I don't know what the hell she is. She's Saving Vaginas by Femi Secrets. Femi Secret. It's a health and beauty product for women. It's an online store for now. So ladies, not only in Houston, ladies around the world, in regards to what she's doing in regards to her business, go look into her product and support. If it benefits you, go ahead and use it. I'm not stopping you. Please go. I support all. But that's easy for me to say because I do that without any problem. You have something you want to promote? Let me know and I'll promote it. I am currently wearing Black-owned product. Supporting is nothing for me. Just let me know and I got you. Here's the problem. Just because you engage in certain activity, that doesn't warrant my support. We are having a conversation about bettering the community, but yet you are on a program. Not only you're promoting your business and you're promoting being a mother, which to agree, we don't have to get into your personal business unless you put it out there. I think that's something worth looking up, worth mentioning. I think that's something worth for the community to look. Like, just because you are a single mother, that doesn't mean you're at the end of the line. You can get from where you're at to something better. That is something I applaud. That is something I support. But at what cost? You bring your messiness for everybody to see. You bring that drama. You bring that dumb street shit for everyone to see. And you want me to support that? At what cost? I have a son that I got to raise to say women that engage in the activity that you're partaking in. I'm not saying that you engage in whatever I seen in that trailer. I wasn't looking for you. And I didn't go back to watch that trailer after I seen it. I know what I saw. To see that type of actions, no, absolutely not. I condemn that show. I would not support that show. I double down. I triple down. I would not support that show because the bullshit that you're engaging overlooks the positive. How did you bring something so powerful, something that people can look up to, and you dim the light with bullshit? I understand because of TV entertainment, you have to bring some type of entertainment value. I get that and I understand that. But at what cost? So yeah, I support your business by telling people to go support your business. Your products don't pertain to me. So ladies, if that's up your field, go right ahead. Matter of fact, I even mentioned that show probably might be up my wife's alley for entertainment purposes. If there's something educational for me, she's old enough and grown enough to take it and keep it moving. But your show is strictly entertainment value. Something that was supposed to be positive and enlightening is now for entertainment. My wife will probably watch your show just for the entertainment part of it, just like she watched all these other shows, because she knows to leave certain things on TV and it doesn't come into my household as far as affecting what's going on in my life, in her life, and in this family dynamic that we got going on. So to the Vagina Saber, DeVille Jackson, I meant what I said. I support who I support. If you do something that I don't support, I will not support it. I don't give a damn what pigmentation you was born with. What you support is bringing the community down. So yes, you're more than welcome to engage in that activity. I'm not stopping you. Don't you dare bring black people into this. Don't you dare bring black women into this. You did that on your own. And you're looking for validation. You came to the wrong person. I'm not going to give it to you. Open mic, let's go. What y'all want to say about it? Did I set the stage on fire? Cowboy, Moa?
No, I already talked about it already, but I mean, I'm on the train right now on the way back home. But yeah, like I said, bro, like I don't support any and everybody, bro. I don't support people who are living their life and sin and living their life in the flesh. And basically, I guarantee you that show is not going to be positive for the community or the world. So I don't know too much about the name. I mean, the name says it all.
Appreciate it. Like I said, just because you're black, you don't get my support. Just because you're a black man, you don't get my support. Just because you're a black woman, you don't get my support. You know why? Because I need to see what I'm supporting. If it makes sense, if it adds values, if it helps achieve the ultimate goal, I will support you. If what you're doing is bring the community down, fuck out of here. It's not happening. That's coming from a leader, a man. I don't run from a problem. I'm running directly to it. No, never met her a day in my life. I was talking about the show. She wanted to defend the show, which is well in her right, but she came across the wrong guy. Don't bring the black community, black man, black woman, don't bring the community in there just to justify your behavior. You already made that decision. Now live with it. I'm not taking away from your business. Ladies, go find her. Her name is Vagina Saber on Instagram. Go to her business page, her online store. If she got something for you, that's
why would you direct women to her when there's plenty of women that are deserving that is selling products out there?
Oh, I don't know them. I don't know about her. So no, I don't know about her, and I'm not above saying that if you got something that is worth mentioning, bring it here and let's go. Now that was pertaining to her business. I'm not talking about that bum ass show. I'm not watching that shit. I don't. And just to let her know, your show as of now is a poor man's version of Love and Hip Hop, or some whatever bad girls club, whatever. It's a poor man's version of it. So yeah, I spit on your show. Sorry, I'm not watching it. But as far as your business goes, hey, go right ahead. I'm a capitalist. I'm a proud capitalist. Go make your money in regards to your business. But if it's something that is bringing down to the community, something that I don't stand by, things that men, leaders don't stand by, we're not going to support it. Get over it. And I guess in closing, if you guys have a business that needs to be promoted, supported, free of charge, as far as lower level guys, hit me up on my email, and I got you. I'm already influencer. I'm already ambassador for 3 companies. I don't mind promoting smaller business as well. So please come at me with that.
Well, that makes me. That reminds me of another thing that's always been black code that we don't practice now is we have to not support, things that don't show us in a good light.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So, when a lot of us backed out of, dealing with the woman king, that was the right thing to do,
Right.
as a black community. You know what I'm saying? All these love and hip hop and all these shows that make, I know they do a lot of editing, they script a lot of shit, all this shit they do to make us look ratchet. We shouldn't support that stuff, Yeah, that's the bottom line. And those that partake in making that shit, we shouldn't support them either. We gotta wall these people out. You know what I mean?
That's fair. I have no rebuttal for that one. That's absolutely fair and correct. That is very correct. Well, you guys heard it. If they're not for the community, don't support them. That's from one of the leaders of this community. I agree. Like I said, I can't fault that in any way, shape, or form. But that's my response. I might do a separate video addressing her directly. Or, well, actually, she said she didn't want to smoke, so I'll spare her, which is all good. But, brothers, y'all the best, man. Thank you. It took us about 3 hours, but we got here. And we will be back here on Tuesday. Let's see how the women do. So, reminder, ladies and gentlemen, as I pull up the room for the women on Tuesday, it will be a women's forum, code of conduct for the community, this coming Tuesday, noon Central Standard Time.
Can we do another one for the man again on Friday? Work is crazy for me today, bro. I'm not even going home. It's 14 hours today. So
it's all good. Just hit me up and we'll work that out. I don't mind running that back if we had to, because I know we're going to do it again on October 16th with everybody on the stage. We got to do a part 2. We could work that out. No worries.
Yeah, because the problem that we really have with our society is that men is listening to women. That's the real problem. That's what I want to talk about. Stop listening to women, bro. They do what you say, or they can pick the route, bro. And I'm not saying it on a mean way. It's in the Bible. And I have proof of why it's like that. I'm not saying it with consent or malicious or anything. I'm just mean this. Like, this is why we're going what we're going through. We're spending our most men, not me, never the place. In my past, I used to do that because of my mother. I was going by a single mother. But most problem that we're having is because men are listening to the advice of women, bro. Respectfully, like, it never ends well, bro. And they know, sure, it's easy. Like, it's going on so many times, bro. You do as a man, take care of the take care. If you can't get down on the program, it's a dog. Any woman or a man that doesn't agree with what you're saying or doesn't have sense that, what you should be saying is the words of God. If they don't agree with God, that's a block, bro. Respectfully. That's how I feel personally.
Nah, I feel you on that. We definitely just spoke about that earlier. Like, men got to stop taking the lead from women. You're the leader. Be the man and lead that household. If she don't want to comply, let her go.
Guys, when a woman's supposed to be telling me what time it's dinner already, bro. Respectfully, like, I know it sounds messed up, but it is what it is. If she chose you, that means she chose you to lose. Unless she's in a minor relationship, you feel me? So that's how I basically look at it. Like, I listen to no one about nothing. You can't leave me nowhere, like.
It's all, yeah, I agree 100%. We're gonna get this all fixed. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. Trust me on that one. But let's go ahead and end it. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for making the contributions. So to those on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the B.TS Side Show. I'm your host, Christopher J. Like and subscribe. Follow me on all social media platforms. You can donate to my Cash App right there. participants waive all their rights to privacy. We're still on the road to 1,000 subscribers. When we reach that goal, one lucky person will get $100. Just one lucky person will get $100. So you guys know I'm a man of my word. We are almost close to 500 subscribers. So let me give you $50 once we reach that goal. What else? Disclaimer: the audience views does not reflect the opinions of the sponsors or those affiliated with the B.TS show. And remember, Tuesday, October 11th, New Central Standard Time, this coming Tuesday, we will hold a women's forum, code accounting for the community. The men already came up with the code. Now it's up for the women to work within the codes. It will be just like today was an all-men moderating stage. On Tuesday, exception of me, there will be all-female moderators. So you guys be ready for that. So with that being said, follow me, follow the house, follow my team. This is the B.TS show. Thank you, brothers. I appreciate you. I'm going to go take a break, a long break, and I will touch base with you guys later. You guys have a blessed one.